capitalism, all of the gains in automation, it goes to the owner class. All you have to do is have everyone be an owner, and now suddenly any gain in automation is a gain for everybody. If you grow just one thing, it may not grow as well as if it grows with another thing. A good example of that is called the Three Sisters method of farming.
There is definitely multi-apartment buildings or multi-families that do passive design.
$100 million that they gave to Joe Rogan that they would kind of be out if they breach contract. Is that a bigger number? Or is $2 billion a bigger number?
I don't know, Zach.
It's a tough one. I know.
Really hard.
And maybe comparing numbers is not Jeremy's strong suit. Gotta go kill a Jenny.
I still don't think you should kill her. I don't think it's a good idea.
It's a ghost, dude.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Head Theory. Just waiting for the rest of the fine folks to join us. So Zach and I thought we'd pop in on
Hello.
this guy. He's Bread Theory.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't change your name yet. You should change your name. It's up in you gotta do it over here.
Changing my name.
Edit the name.
Oh.
Amenza. Amenza.
Stop.
Oh, thanks for the cheer, Alyosha. How you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm a terrible speller. Just thought I'd share it with you fine people. So if I don't know how to spell something, I just don't use it.
I'm not working the controls tonight, but everyone should follow Alyosha on Twitch. Really great streamer. So, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want, you can shout him out, though.
How do I do that?
Just go to chat. Oh, the January 6th hearings are happening now. Ooh. That's cool. I assume you're covering that. I always wonder if anyone's going to get any real consequences.
No, because they're white men.
So far, the Patriot Yeti's the only one who's gotten any... who's gotten the longest sentence. It's been like 2 years.
I'm so glad that stuck.
Yeah. Go to chat up there.
The Patriot Yeti, that was my handiwork.
Okay, so go down into type, press exclamation SO. And now, oh, that was AO. SO doesn't need to be uppercase.
Well,
That's fine. Space. Alyosha, one word. Just as you see it on the screen. I don't know why you're typing in all caps, but that should work in theory. There we go.
yeah.
Hello.
Hello, Shanika, how are you?
Hey, Shanika.
Howdy. I'm here. How y'all doing?
We're glad you're
Good.
here. Hanging in there. Hopefully you won't have to deal with crappy people here, just good people that want to learn stuff.
No. Can I just let me be very honest. People are not being crappy in a very on purpose way. They're being triggered because if you kind of point something out that they're not ready to hear, they don't really know how to deal with it. But the people that I have been in touch with, some of them are willing to grow and some of them weren't. So I just want to shout out to people still trying to grow, but sometimes we have our little learning moments and our little difficult moments and stuff, but I still love people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still hard though. It's still hurtful when you want to help and they're not ready. And I mean, I feel like that's part of the problem with society now though, is we need to normalize having these difficult conversations and sitting with that discomfort.
You just summarized my last 72 hours or so because yeah, I don't know, was it something in the astrology? Do we need to have a seance? Do I need to flip a tarot card or some shit? Cause goddamn, did you okay, let me make a psychic prediction. I'm being silly, but how many times did you get projected on within the last 72 hours? It feels like there's something honestly though, sometimes stuff does happen in the political sphere that makes
Mhm.
people agitated, and then all of their interactions with their online people become tainted by that. I don't want to say energy. I'm really not trying to be metaphysical, but I'm really serious with like a lot of I mean, wouldn't be surprised to find out that something occurred that made people feel on edge, and we're all just sort of bouncing around like little molecules bumping into each other because once again America screwed us over in some way. you know
Yeah. No, I think you're onto something there, definitely. I mean, I don't know if I've necessarily been projected on, but I mean, I know I have personally maybe misdirected my emotions or
yeah,
mishandled them. I think
maybe you
misdirected is a
projected a
better word.
little, and
Yeah,
I'm
I
not trying
probably
to
did
beat you
it.
up. Yeah, I use these terms, but I'm not trying to beat nobody up. I'm just saying, like, because I'm capable of it. Trust me, if I do something, or if you call me out on something, or whatever, I don't have a problem, standing under my own, heavy light, of inspection or whatever. But I'm just saying that, yeah, a
Right.
lot of people were emotionally kind of doing,
Hmm.
doing the one arm jig or whatever, and it was just like, dude, y'all gotta,
Right. Well, I mean, if I hurt somebody's feelings, I want to know it so that I don't do it again, or I can like shine some light onto that and reflect, like, hey, why was I
yeah,
being a dick?
for
you know,
sure,
because
for
it's
sure, yeah.
important. I hate hurting people's feelings.
No, me too. Oh my God. I would rather
Right.
anybody tell me one of the things that I've gone through talking about hurting people's feelings or whatever it is, I have gone off on people or just went just off just and the fuller context isn't that I go around just randomly going off on people. The fuller context is kind of what happened. One of the things that happened recently with me was that I was in the middle of a moment where I had a lot of stuff going on. I mean, I think
Hmm.
I've shared basically my story as far as like a lot of the recent stuff with the hysterectomy and the therapist and the racism and the civil rights violations. And I
Hmm.
thought that if I told people that stuff and when it kept happening, I thought that it would evolve into a conversation of some kind, but nobody ever addresses that. And the person that shot off at me recently was, I wish I had the privilege to use my friends as punching bags. And I get that a lot. Like, nobody's willing to have a conversation like, so what did it feel like to be locked in an ambulance? Because everybody's, sensitive and they don't want
Hmm.
their little fifis hurt. But the second that it gets to be too much, and then people, because what happened, one of the things that happened is people began to jump in and they thought that they were comforting me by encouraging me to continue to fight. I'm like, bitch, you're gonna take the time to talk with me to encourage me to do more, but you're
Hmm.
not interested in actually helping out. And that's the reason why your podcast and different things going on, like with Zen and y'all, just the things that y'all are doing, is actually the one thing giving me a lot of hope right now, to be honest,
Aw,
because I've gone a
thanks.
long time interacting with people, and you already know that I'm not closed minded, and I'm not a bigot, and I'm not rejecting huge groups of people at once. I'm
Hmm.
like, come on, come on, and I'm just like, hey, how you doing with everyone? And you show me your energy where you're coming from, and a lot of people, they're willing to pop up and say, hey, how are you doing? I'm sitting here like, I'm going through my most recent civil rights violation. How are you doing? Like, that's not the way to do it. And people don't know how to.
Hmm.
But why is it on me to give everybody like a 10-week course on how to have empathy? If, and that's the difference between a lot of the stuff that I'm going through versus like kind of talking with you guys and seeing what y'all are talking about. Because I think that if I'm talking on and on like this, instead of it being, well, you act like you're the only person with problems, or just like the type of stuff that people say to me and respond to me. It's almost as if they're offended that their feeble attempt to be there for me didn't work. Like, if you can't really digest the stuff that I'm going through as a person, but you're willing to boil everything down to, well, you make very good posts, and it seems like the stuff that you share online, I thought you were okay. Like,
Mm.
wow. So basically the TikTok generation is delivering diagnoses right now. Is that what's happening? Did you just diagnose me as being okay because I can put two sentences together? So and then
Mhm.
the amount of attention that somebody who is way lighter than I am, whether they were of color or not, might differ. It might be a different energy when, or if it's a beauty thing, or if the person has money or status, then we
Mhm.
would really care. If some of the stuff that happened to me happened to somebody who was, air quotes, way more important, it would hit people differently, and I know that.
Mhm.
So I've kind of been calling people out on their lack of perspective, honestly, because it's sort of like I would be in an interaction with somebody. I'm sitting there trying to tell them, like, hey, this happens often. Like, it happened years
Mhm.
ago. On my other account, it happens a lot where people think that in the online world, and what they're doing is they're projecting their own either insecurities or whatever. Like, they think that if they just do whatever it is that would have helped them if they were me, like, that's everybody's formula. Well, if I were you, I would want this. Like, could you, I don't know, stop stepping into my skin and wearing it as a cause? So, hey, Zen,
Hey,
Hey.
you look cute.
How's it
Everybody
going?
looks cute. I'm so jealous.
I bet you look cute too.
Thank you. Uh oh, she's stuck.
Oh,
It's moving. Wait a
frozen.
minute.
Oh wait,
oh,
here it is.
My
try to get in.
signal cut out for a
Oh.
second.
Uh,
It's kind of iffy today. I'm pretty sure with as hot as it is out, every fucking buddy in this RV park is hiding inside today and on the Wi-Fi. So
Yeah.
mhm.
Oh my
it's going
goodness.
slow as shit. My bad.
I mean, I'm thinking about what you're saying right now, Shanika, and like, I mean, I understand. I will never understand your worldview because my life is not made exponentially more difficult just by being.
Yeah.
But it's so much more than that too. I mean,
Yeah. Zen, I was just telling them just basically same thing I was telling you just now about the last 72 hours. So that's all
Yeah.
that we were talking about. Yeah. And I appreciate that, Amanda. It's like I'm not asking people to quote understand in a way that you're supposed to 100% know everything that I feel, but I
mhm,
am asking adult humans to factor in the fact that you know what I look like.
mhm,
You've seen the scars on my belly. You've seen, whatever documentation that I've shown you. Like, could you stop hyper compartmentalizing so that you don't ever feel uncomfortable? And I feel like if you're somebody who's willing to be uncomfortable at the very least and really just not just listen to me vent, but I honestly mean, like, I literally had to post, like, the fact that a lot of what people are doing is like they don't even, oh
She's
damn,
back.
it's her connection.
Yes.
Oh.
yeah.
Wait, there she go. Wait, hello.
Hi, back again. Had to
There
move.
she is.
Okay. No, that's it. Just, the fact that if you are treating somebody like a person, if I hear somebody constantly talking about suffering in a certain way, I can't just, treat them at arm's length and then want to jump head first when I'm ready to be a hero and then cry in a corner because they didn't appreciate my efforts. Fuck you. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm just saying, like,
Mhm.
anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's okay. I don't feel terrible or anything. I feel very glad that, good or bad, I'm here with y'all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because a
Mhm.
lot of times I just don't feel like trying. Not, you know what I'm trying to say? It's just too much.
Like you
But
don't
I
feel
don't
connected, or like you
like,
can get connected in a healthy,
not
positive
even.
way.
It's so beyond that. It's the okay.
Okay.
So real quick, the OSDD. No, it's something you can definitely understand. So just real quick, the OSDD 1A piece, along with the complex PTSD. Long story short, if I mean I don't even know who I am 2 or 3 days in a week or something. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's like a depersonalization,
Mm.
dissociation kind of
Okay.
effect to the from the trauma, which is it's in my brain. It's beyond just my mood, my depression, blah blah blah. It's in my actual brain. It's beyond my just my mind. So it's you know what I'm saying? So even if you haven't heard of that before, just understand I'm so basically mentally ill in that moment that I don't even know how to engage with other human beings, like, at all. And so that's kind of a lot of what I had been trying to explain to people. And their response was, instead of to sit there and be like, oh my God, that's awful or something like that, or just to just fucking acknowledge it. Excuse me, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Instead of just acknowledge it, for what it is, they try to play psychologist and point out, well, this is what you should do. And I'm sort of like, if the thing, I'm not talking about you guys. I'm just
Mhm.
talking about,
Right.
some online
The
friends that
general you.
oh
The
yeah,
internet
yeah.
you.
Yeah. So I'm just letting you know, like, kind of giving you a little bit of an understanding of what it looks like for me some of those times. Sometimes it's not just about racism. Sometimes it's
Mhm.
the ableism that is happening, you know. Honestly, it could be connected to racism, or it could be a lack of compassion because it's sort of like, okay, we get it. Black women are suffering. Oh, stop. Sometimes I get this whole idea that you act like you're the only person suffering. I've been told that I'm being ungrateful because the person is trying to help and I won't let them help. I mean some of the
Mhm.
stuff is technically ableist, but maybe they give themselves the permission to do that because on some subconscious level they're also like, you know what, you should be grateful somebody gives a shit about your black ass. Like
Yes.
that's how it feels to me. That's how it feels to me when I write post after post. Nobody reads anything I write, but they're jumping headfirst in because they think I said something I didn't say. When somebody sees me in the middle of a mental health crisis, and these are grown adults who don't know what to do, but what they try is something along the lines of like like, I get it if you're also like feeling like uncomfortable about the thing as well. Like, I know that, Zen, I apologize to you. Like, I was really like harsh with you a couple of times, like, "Ugh," and you were like, I was like, I'm so sorry, like, I'm just in the throes of it, and it's sort of like I'm just standing there and like kicking and punching everybody that's coming towards me, honestly. But and Zen has never done this to me, never. But the thing that people actually do that really gets me like into that mode is real friggin' ableism, where they're like, I don't know what your situation is. However, you should this. Or I don't understand your situation. However, you should never blah, 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 blah. Or I don't know what you're going through, but it doesn't give you the right to blah, blah, blah. I'm just sitting like, damn. And I made a post. If the worst thing that ever actually happened to you was being told off by a black woman, you haven't had a whole lot of suffering. Because it's like they're really just getting on my ass about the fact that I'm responding the wrong way to the civil rights violations that I'm going through. Like, that's kind of, and when I say civil rights violations, again, I'm talking about, 7 months of repeating myself to a therapist, triggering myself into depression, blood clots, anemia, connected with fibroid tumors, and then getting a hysterectomy. You know, and that shit happening, and then people still approaching me as if I'm offending them by not being strong enough. So Yeah, there's a lot of people that are jealous. If you can say jealous of our suffering, oh my God, 20 minutes in and I'm still talking. Do you see
No.
why?
This is what the space is
I'm not safe for
for.
work, honey. I'm not safe for work.
That's what the
Um,
space is for. This is what it can be. This is
Thank you. I thank honest from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Like on the one hand, it's like I'm trying to embrace y'all embracing me. And on the other hand, I too am just conditioned. I'm talking deep conditioner per plus, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Deep conditioned against being. I don't even know how to say. You could probably finish that sentence. You know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, that's kind of, and that the reason why I directed it back to, okay, something must have happened in politics or somewhere in society, or some crime or something must have happened to trigger um the body politic into filling their fifis in a new and exciting way, coming soon to a Facebook feed near you, where all of a sudden people felt the need to let me know that you're not the only one suffering. And the shit rolls downhill. Okay? It rolls downhill in the office that you work at, the factory, the whatever, in your family. It rolls downhill if you're the scapegoat, if you're the low man on the totem pole. Excuse me if totem pole is not a PC term. I'm sorry. This is being recorded. My goodness, fuck. If you are the lowest one in the society X, Y, and Z, you're going to get more shit from more people. So a lot of what's really offensive about it is, see, if it were, and that's what then people say, oh, you should block those people. There are people, don't assume that it's some fucking Trump supporter fucking with you. Like, that's not, if that were to ever happen, it's so obvious that it wouldn't even hurt. These are people that you actually, or I would actually be like friends with or talking to or interacting with, and then they come out of a bag. I remember just different times, like when George Floyd got murdered, when certain things, under Trump, happen, little things here and there, like it might be, excuse me, like I can't remember all of it, but like that Nigerian doctor that he referred to or whatever, like just different things that happen. When something uncomfortable happens and people feel like they need to, like they all of a sudden people want to get stuff off their chest. Well, one of the things that they've been itching for the time to tell me or let me know is just that. I feel like you're blah blah blah. People come at me with stuff where you look at the things that they're saying that they feel, and every bit of evidence to why they feel the way that they do, it'll come out months later when they're willing to admit the fact that what they're saying to me is literally 100% tied to their experience with someone who I remind them of. Period. I mean, point blank, that's the whole fucking thing. If somebody would have asked me, what is it that you did to this person? You must have done something exist, and remind them of their auntie that said something similar. The things that have happened, people just go, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm the one interrupting. I'm just saying that at that point, they're fucking predictable.
Oh, you know what? I think it gets
Right from up, not take it out on you. They're projecting.
Yeah, definitely.
And we did get like a little delay. You said that's when they, because you had went out for a second. You had gone out for a second.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, I was saying they're fucking projecting the shit towards you from what they feel about the situation with the person that they actually had a fucking problem with that you're reminding them of.
Yeah.
When what they should be doing is going and dealing with that shit with that person, not fucking targeting you with it.
100. That's it. That's the whole entire thing. And in the midst of interacting with the person, like when we first started, and I was saying kind of this happened, that happened, and Amanda was like, well, it still hurts. And I thank you, Amanda, for even saying that right there. Like, you might not know the impact that had on me in that moment, just literally 20 minutes ago or something, because by you acknowledging that, well, it still hurts to be projected on, kind of gave me a little bit more of a green light to talk about it a little bit more, because yeah, technically I'm projecting onto all of you right now the idea that you don't want to hear what I have to say. Seriously. And I have to catch myself. So we're all doing some sort of, not, I don't want to say we all doing it, but like it's possible it goes in different directions. And yeah, that person doing that, I'm just an easy target. I'm an easy target because to other people, look very strong, or I look brave, or I seem some kind of, like they almost feel like, okay, well, I couldn't possibly believe that you have any kind of mental illness. I was trying to explain to somebody, well, okay, so it's like my mind is broken. And then they're like, your mind isn't broken. I'm like, oh my God, here we go again. I got to explain to the little plebeian children of the earth that just because my Facebook posts make sense to you and hit you on an emotional level where you can understand what I mean, doesn't mean that I don't have other things going on. So that's ableism. Ableism is stepping in and using like, in my definition of it, the way that I see it going down, ableism is using the disability of the disabled person, the weakness that they're having in that moment. I don't mean weakness, but I mean the trouble that they're having, the crisis in that moment, using that as your opportunity to crown yourself, holy savior, or whatever it is that you're about to crown yourself in the eyes of this person. I'm going to make you appreciate me for helping you, or whatever. I'm going to make decisions on your behalf. I'm going to step in and fix the situation that I don't understand completely, but I'm definitely going to step in. And it's all virtue signaling. And the sad part about it is, because we're talking head theory, we're talking psychology, we're talking mental illness, we're talking emotions, we're talking stress, we're talking health problems that started off as an emotional problem. We're talking all of that shit. We're talking about us, going through it because of where we're from in this particular nation, to a lot of extent, or the Western world, or whatever. Just some of those things that we might have material wealth. I'm way richer than some people in other countries. Obviously, I know that, richer as far as money. However, culturally, socially, like I said before, we're pretty bereft of some basic stuff: broken families, broken homes, and in whatever way you put that, abuse, neglect. And then here we go, we got the highest rate of suicide, highest rate of school shootings. Okay, but now it's a mystery because nobody can figure out why that's happening here. Okay, yeah, let's all be in denial. And then here I come, being affected by a lot of shit, and it just so happened that the only place that I had to turn to vent and get my feelings out was my Facebook page. That was the only place I had. Not a friend, not a family member, not even a support group most of the time, because most people are damn jealous that I've gone through more stuff than they did, and I'm not, hitting the fucking pipe, or I'm not an addict or a drunk, and I'm not hating on anybody that's that, but somebody was just now hating on me for knowing psychology. I'm like, damn, I know psychology, but I don't know mind reading, bitch, calm down. It's like everybody likes to attribute to me all these things, and it's 100%. It's not only as a projection, it's subjective. Shanika has in her stuff I don't have, so that gives me the right to beat the shit out of her emotionally. Oh, okay, where they do that at? And I'm not even talking for anybody who might think, oh, well, she's talking about white people. No, I'm talking about all you motherfuckers, white, black, polka dot, Everybody has taken chunks out of my ass. And I'm 30, I'll be 43 years old. 30, I didn't even know how old I am. I'll be 43 this month. So I've seen some of everything as far as like somebody, if I'm in the vicinity and somebody, has their turn, it's because it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm a black woman. How dare she fill in the blank? How did my own mother? I should probably I'll take a link of this TV show right now and send it to her ass. Hey, Mom, I was on TV and I talked about your ass. Check it out. Mom, please scroll to 30 minutes and 27 seconds. Boom. My mother, hey, Mom. You know what I'm saying? She did this shit to me. But I can't go and say that to anybody. You're too old to. Oh, okay. So that's ancient history, right? But we still talk about all types of ancient historical events that had an impact on something. But you're not allowed to talk about your childhood. You're not allowed to say something bad about your mother. You're not allowed to refer to some things that have happened to you that might trigger another person. You're not allowed to talk about the trauma. You're not allowed to talk about something that happened that that changed your life for the worse, because you're supposed to be A, understanding of the person that did it or the people that did it, B, understanding of the conditions that spawned it, C, understanding that you're not the only one with issues. Ableism. So people who have it better than me are mad at me because I make them feel bad, because they see my suffering. And honestly, I say fill in the blank at that point, because that's where the projection comes in. They're like, wow, if it were me, I would have off and running. If it were me, blah, blah, blah. Well, so you're mad because I'm trying to, I've had a head start because I've been trying to be myself, help myself heal, get through things this whole time. If somebody just now started a mental health journey like 6 months ago, and I've been on a mental health journey to the point where I'm easily shunned by the Black community. Yes, I'm looking at you, Black community. I'm easily shunned by the Black community if I seem too into this psychology stuff. You shouldn't believe what those white doctors told you. Everything ain't in the book. You should just feel feelings. I mean, there's just so many barriers. As far as Black people choosing to go to therapy or get help or be on meds and stuff like that, my cousin, he called me up one time. He's like, "Cuz, you shouldn't take those meds." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He was talking about opioids or benzos or something, neither of which I'm on. I'm like, "You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, get off my phone." It's like, or things like, that's part of the reason why I don't have any friends, because it's very uncool in my community, the idea of doing therapy or all that type of stuff. I mean, I cannot speak for another group. I don't know what's going on in the world of other people or whatever, but where I'm from, the idea that I wanted to do the therapy thing, continue with, meds and educate myself on those things and survive in the way that I have, makes me very hard to relate to. Let's say it that way. And that's also a loneliness for me as well. I remember I would talk about some of the things that happened to me, and Black people will pop up on my page and they'd be like, basically just checking me and correcting me and trying to, basically say the whole thing of, why are you telling everybody your business? We don't want white people in our business. Like, everything comes down to, okay, we're going to do the way that we do things and not the way white people do them. Like, something along those lines, and I'm not using a profile picture to thine own self be true because I don't want to show my face. I'm using it because I don't want to show my face today, because I will the next time or maybe next week. But I'm not shy to let somebody know that, yeah, I'm in therapy. I'm on meds. I've chosen to educate myself about how things work, and I've apparently done well enough at it that somebody will be like, "Wow, you don't seem mentally ill." So the ableism, the ignorance, the sexism, all of that stuff, um, all of that stuff is, and like I said, the projecting and how people have been acting. I don't know what happened recently that um, could have possibly led to that, but that is a huge factor. I can remember after George Floyd got murdered, I either had friends who were so tired of me talking about my mental illness that they blocked me, because now it was sort of like I've got to deal with how society is spiraling and this annoying person who keeps talking about their mental illness, and they blocked me hard as hell. Like it and the crazy part about it is people would generally rather argue with me or jump headfirst into what's going on than block me or to step away, because they think that I'm so annoying that instead of just blocking me or getting away from me, they prefer to engage in some sort of spiteful kind of interaction and then block me, which they call trigger blocking, which somebody just did yesterday. So yeah, oh my God, I've been talking for 36 minutes. Why do y'all invite me?
That's okay.
This is why we can't have nice things.
These are
This
nice
is-
things.
But again, this stuff is important because. Sorry, I'm just like thinking about 500,000 things at once.
For sure.
Like, I mean, my family is not keen on mental health. Like, the idea of any of us going to therapy for anything would be like, oh, you're just weak. Well, no, I'm fucking human and I have problems and I need help, and I don't have the tools in my toolkit yet to solve the problem myself. So, like,
Yeah.
get off of it, would you?
Yeah.
And like, you really just it pisses me off that people don't realize that, like, you don't live life in someone else's shoes. What would be small to one may be very large to someone else. And like, it goes a long way to just sit and listen. Just shut the fuck up and listen. You don't have to solve it. Odds are you can't, because you're not equipped to do that. I certainly am not.
Yeah.
But listening goes a long way.
It does.
Like, come have a snack with me and tell me about your shitty day.
Oh my God, I love that.
Right. That's holding space.
Yes. That's
Trying to
yes.
pretend like if something worked for you must be a one size fits all that works for every fucking buddy, and trying to fix them. It's not our job to fix other people.
Yes.
It's our job to work on our own shit and be able to fucking fix ourselves as far as things that even are fixable. But that's not going to happen by somebody else going, well, hey, you do that, and they can run through a fucking list of 20 fucking things you've already tried that did not fucking work, and then they just sit there like, oh fuck. And
Yeah.
I can get that too, because I am a very solution-oriented person. I look for solutions to problems. If I don't know a fucking solution to something, I find it frustrating. So that's something I've had to learn about myself when it comes to even interacting with others and holding that space is, bitch, it ain't your shit to fix. Just fucking
But you learned it though. Like, sorry to cut you off, but like, you learned it. You put the effort into learning it. That's all I want to say.
Well, not only for being in those shoes, but also being in the shoes of the person who's also mentally fucked. And there's been times that I've needed somebody to just hold space and just fucking listen, just be with me through it and not try to fix it.
But can I say that though, like, the fact that, okay, so remember when I said it in the beginning, I was like, a lot of the people that I've gotten into it with, some of them really have the best intentions, but they do need to learn whatever it is that they need to learn. Obviously, like you said, holding space is pretty much the key, and whatever that looks like is the way that it looks like. You know, Amanda's saying a snack, yeah, invite me to a moment of just letting it be about me for like 3 whole minutes or whatever it is that the person needs as far as like to just get it off their chest. Like that's a basic. Even the therapist that I was telling y'all about that messed me up wasn't even comfortable with me venting. So, and I told people that, so I'm sitting there like, okay, so I don't even have a fucking therapist that's willing to let me vent. What the fucking kind of shit is that? Oh, excuse me. Oh my God.
Yeah,
what is the
that's
rating
all right.
of this show? Excuse me. I'm
Swearing's
sorry.
okay.
We are
Swearing is fine. Slurs are not.
NC-17.
That's
What's
it.
happening? Okay, don't sue
Yeah.
me. Don't
We
block
can
me,
swear, it's fine.
but
Yeah.
I'm just,
Yeah.
trust me. I'm not gonna lie. I've been cussing people the fuck out for the last I don't know how long, and not even just you're a piece of shit. You're never gonna be nothing. No, I don't talk like that. I'm literally saying the fact that like you should have fucking done blah 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 to fucking like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, solution oriented. I get that, Zen. That's good that you're like that, but it's good that you understood that the solution was to hold space. See, that's the difference. Are you willing to learn how to be a better ally to the person, whether it's mental illness, racism, homophobia, transphobia, whatever the person is going through, or are you there to polish your ego off and buff and smooth your image in the eyes of others? See, let me take a picture of this homeless person as I give them a raggedy $1 bill and wave at the camera as I give it to them, type of shit. That's what a lot of the things that people have been, even when they mean well, that's as good as it gets. Even when they mean well, that's the best a lot of people can do. And I have to like figure out how to tell them that, but not shit on them completely, but at the same time try to remove myself while they're chasing me through the fiber optics of the internet, trying to help. Oh my God, there's another person who keeps wanting to get in touch with me because they want to make it right. It was never about me to begin with. So now you want me to participate in part 3 of you explaining to me why you're like how you are. You had 365 days to bring up you, but you were ashamed of your mental illness. A lot of times I find out that people are like, let's say autistic in the middle of the conversation. Now somebody's gonna run to the internet and tell everybody how I hate autistic people or some dumb shit. No, I don't hate anybody, but it's a little difficult to know somewhere deep in the middle of the conversation that you're not following the conversation. I don't even know what to do. Then it's sort of like, I'm autistic. Then 5 minutes later, you should understand. I'm like, Jesus fuck. Okay, so it's almost like HIV status. If I know that I can fuck somebody and give them HIV, by law, am I or am I not required to tell them?
Yeah.
If I have a mental illness and there's a very good chance that this motherfucking cockroach on my profile picture is gonna crawl up your nose and lay eggs in your brain, don't you think that I should say hashtag complex PTSD, hashtag OSDD1A, here's what's happening to me, here's a picture of that, here's something. Don't I owe it to the general public or a friend or whatever to let them know that I'm going through something? No, everybody's too damn punk fucking coward to say I've got an issue until it finally blows. Okay, so at the 11th hour, I get to find out all these things about you that you weren't willing to share until I was having a mental breakdown. Wow. Fuck you and your fucking fifis. Now that is weak. That's the weakness. Hiding behind your whatever it is that you can hide behind, but then being very comfortable letting me know all about you while I'm in the middle of a downward spiral. Each and every one of these situations, the other person knew that I hadn't even had a full night. I was up for 2 nights straight. And the difference between a lot of people and y'all, or like my mother-in-law, I called her up at 3 o'clock in the morning. She was like, okay, I understand. She didn't, she never, and that's the other thing too. I'm not gonna sit up and A lot of people are hating on white people just in proportion. Okay, hate the white system, hate white privilege, hate white supremacy. But damn, do you really just have to like try to execute a whole other race? Like that's really not gonna help you. What the fuck? My mother-in-law is white. My boyfriend, well, I call her my mother-in-law, and she loves me. My boyfriend is white. So does that mean that I just love all white people unproportionately, disproportionately? I love everybody. I love or like or give a chance to everybody. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, you know what I'm trying to say, just being a people person.
Right.
However, I will point out the fact that some of the people who really put in the effort, a lot of the people who really put in the effort tend to be, in my experience, either white or Latino. Usually Mexican, just based on like from when I was in Chicago and the different areas that I was. There are a lot of places like, let's say 87th and on the south side, 87th and Manistee. So I know that means nothing, but like south. So you know about you. Everybody's heard of the south side of Chicago. So south, but we have pockets, right? So you might have a 6-block, 9-block radius or whatever, 4-block radius that's like this or that. And Mexican people were cool with me. So, oh my God, I've gone all over the place. Every time I blink, 10 minutes goes by. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry for it.
You do not have to apologize for any of this. Like this is
you thank you. You just don't know how many times I've had people emotionally beat the shit out of me for talking.
that's not gonna happen here.
Right.
Not at all. Though, can I just build on something that you said earlier that's
Yes,
just
please.
like sizzling in my brain pan?
Yes, please.
Like, you don't look like you're mentally ill. Like, what the fuck does that mean? You don't look mentally ill. Like, you don't look stupid, but here we are. Like, come on. What does it look like?
Right.
Like, people that have physical ailments don't always look like they're sick. Like, come on. You don't look it. Like,
That-
I'm sorry.
No, I love it. No, for real. Like that's I think that's the reason why, as much as like right now I'm talking about just the particulars of like the ableism or whatever, honestly, that right there, what you just said, Amanda, that's the bigger issue. To be quite honest, that is the bigger issue. The bigger issue is making assumptions. The bigger issue is prejudging, aka prejudice. The bigger issue is bigotry. The bigger issue is looking at another person and feeling so superior that you're not going to believe what they're saying until you have proof. And can I just jump to the obvious of, like, let's say Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, which they started calling Amber Turd. I'm sorry. That shit was crazy. Whew. The whole believe women, not believe women idea, my take on it is like, okay, if we could stop putting everybody into groups and saying we're going to treat that group a certain way, and I'm not saying that is completely a wrong thing to do, because sometimes it is necessary to think or understand stuff, blah blah. But what I'm trying to say is that it lacks common sense to not take that by a case basis. Forget about the fact that each woman is different. How about each situation is different? How about, there's ways of trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And there's also something called suspending, I can't even say it, but like not drawing a conclusion or just being okay with, I don't really know what the situation is.
Yeah, reserving judgment.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Zach. Reserving judgment. That's it.
Yeah.
And I feel like people think that it's really like Amanda said, like, okay, I didn't know you were stupid. Like, damn, people think that it's intelligent to guess as soon as possible and stand on that conclusion 10 toes down until proven wrong. They think that there's something strong or smart or real about that, when in fact it is so illogical. That's probably the thing that confuses me the most about people in general. Because remember, I'm coming from being, homeless and destitute for years at a time. A lot of stuff, I mean, I gotta say, it is kind of new to me. And people would say, "Well, you're this old. Why don't you know?" God damn it, the homelessness! How did you forget that I was homeless for 10 years? Like, if I talk to somebody and they've just excluded huge chunks of my life story to make my presence in their life comfortable and smooth for them, but then they want to have an attitude because I point out the things that have happened to me. And hey, this is the sixth or seventh time that I'm trying to mention to you that because of that, I'm not fully functional. Well, it doesn't matter. You should just, you've had plenty of time to get it together. You have housing now, so you should completely be mentally healthy.
That's not how that works.
I have housing. I still have depression. I mean, like.
You mean that plant in the corner didn't cure your
No,
depression?
I mean it definitely does make it better. But no, there's no magical wand that you can just wave and like depression's gone.
Right? Or trauma. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can't take away the damage that you work on it.
Right.
But you can't away.
And it's not even a guarantee that your like trauma responses ever go away either. If like
Oh my
or
God,
the
yeah.
triggers go away either. Like they're always there because like trauma gets stored in a different part of your brain
Oh my God.
than regular stuff. And it's like a full sense, like when you have a trauma memory,
Yes.
like you recall like more senses being engaged: touch, smell, taste, like all of these things. So it's like, oh my God, I just smelled this, like I'm totally sick now.
Yes.
Or whatever. Like I know that's really minimizing, but I'm not able to draw an experience right now that
Oh no, that's perfect.
but you get what I'm saying.
Oh,
Like
some stimulus hit you and triggering a memory, triggering you're speaking about emotional memory as well as emotional flashbacks. Emotional flashbacks that, and they don't even always come back in words. They come back, as you said, a smell or any physical kind of thing. I mean, we have five senses to the body, so I mean that's a lot of. I understand. I think your point is so valid. Like that's a lot of input. That's a whole lot of possibilities of being triggered. And one of the things that I tend to tell people when I'm trying to explain to them what's going on with me is, okay, this happened now, and I kind of almost explain it mathematically because then I'm sort of like, okay, not only this, but that plus that. And then I start saying, okay, well, that times how many years? And it's not until they're forced to do like a whole ass calculus problem to understand what's going on when until they begin to grasp it. But like, okay, what was that word, Zach? Suspend. I'm sorry.
Reserving judgment.
Yes, please. Yes. Reserving judgment. So what also happens is because a lot of people have a short attention span. And I'm not talking about a short attention span like you got ADHD, ADD, or something, and you really need like a pill or something. I'm talking about a short attention span, like you feel very uncomfortable when learning isn't fun, or you feel very uncomfortable learning something that you didn't want to learn. So
that can be part of ADD too, as well.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong. It's not such a. You could be ADD, but okay, like let's say if you're ADD, and maybe I'm saying it wrong, so I want to correct myself. Let's say you got ADD, for example, but you're still anti-racist. Like somewhere in you, like the effort to get an understanding is there. You're probably not gonna like snap on the person of color because they're having a different experience. You might have to feel uncomfortable, but then you can actually be like, hey, I'm not receiving this right now, could you write me later or something. Like somewhere in the midst of it, you're probably going to want to acknowledge that you have an attention issue, but your desire at the end of the day is really to have some sort of positive, for even if the stuff that I'm saying, or I'm too much, or I have too much energy bouncing off like I'm just yakety yak, I would still respect being told by somebody, hey, this is a lot right now, but I love you.
Yeah.
And I've heard that. So maybe I
Totally
shouldn't
fair
say
thing to
learning. Can I reverse and say something different?
Of course. No, it's all written in stone on this podcast.
Okay.
Just kidding.
So, but yeah, I guess maybe, and maybe I'm using the word attention span. What I shouldn't say attention span. I should say maybe I should just describe what
I know what you're saying. You're talking
You
about
know.
like having the bandwidth to absorb something at the time.
not even that. It's like it's just somebody who they don't care enough to put in the effort somehow to even. I shouldn't say attention span. It's nothing. Let's let me hit the reverse and say I don't know what their attention span is. But from my point of view, like let's put it this way: I can be explaining something, and then they'll cut me off and tell me how it's not all about me, and you're not the only person suffering. Because, yeah, there you go. That was the reaction I was looking. You face palmed almost. Like, yeah, like you don't even give a fuck enough to even try to understand. That's what I meant to say. Like whatever that is, where you don't have
apathy,
the tolerance of, yeah. It's not even a psychological, cognitive phenomenon. It's your will or your lack of willingness to whatever.
It can be a facet of narcissism, however.
There we go. Yeah.
There it is. I was wondering when that was going to pop up. Sorry.
We have a winner.
Narcissism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zan, you won the toaster because shit on that. That's it. That's
Okay, who needs a toaster? Because I've already got one and I gave away two.
As much bread as Amanda's been making, maybe we need a second one.
Hey, you should bring Bread Mountain in. Just kidding.
I would drop like half. Amanda literally has 9 loaves of bread that she made.
What?
The past couple days.
I'm having a hard time finding a job, and it's something I can do while I'm in between calls for interviews.
Yeah, so we've been giving bread away to like everyone we can find. It's like our neighbors or family, whoever, people walking on the street. It's just like, here's bread.
Is that why y'all called the podcast Bread Theory?
We've been thinking about that too. It's like maybe we could have like a higher Patreon level and like, actually give away real bread.
There you go.
You know what would be cool? Can I just say, if y'all did like some sort of video that was teaching people about how to make bread, and you had all these different recipes, and you could just do a little video on it, I promise you that would pull a lot of people to your cause, and to having people see, even if you didn't want to show your face, if you were like shy, like you just show your hands doing it, you know what I'm trying to say, like, or even not even you, just pictures or whatever, just something, because that would be like actually. Well, what I'm getting at is people need to learn cooking.
Another facet of being self-sufficient.
Yes, that's that whole survival, the fall of Rome, anti-capitalist, do for self type of stuff. That's where
I see it as a good creative outlet.
Yeah, it is.
I worship Lurch.
Yeah,
my sourdough
that's her
starter.
She's named her sourdough starter.
Because you have to pull the yeast off of it, and it continues to.
Yeah,
that one. Oh,
he's disgusting, but I love him.
I think it smells good. I think it just smells like bread. But she's like, oh my god, it's like sweaty gym shorts or something.
He does stink.
Well,
I don't think so.
I'm gonna try not to make the joke that's brewing in my head.
Oh, please do it. Please
one of three yeast covered things, but it's cool. Oh Jesus!
Please make the joke.
Okay, let's see. Sweaty gym shorts. Yeah, that's what he said. That's what.
Yes.
Massengill calling. That's the second one. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's cool though. Cooking. I love cooking. I miss cooking.
Right?
You should make like an anarcho-communist loaf and have it be like half black and half red. You do like beet juice. I don't know what would be a good black dye, but I'm
black
sure
beans.
Black beans. There you go.
Or seeds. I could put seed on that half, like poppy seed.
Grind some poppy seeds in it.
And you can use more of them to draw like the hammer and sickle on the white side or red side.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Oh, that's nice. You can use red velvet, whatever they use to make red velvet cake, the color.
Oh, both of us hate
Food
red
coloring.
velvet. We hate
It's
the
all
taste of food
food
coloring.
Oh, I see.
But you can
Understand.
use like beet juice instead of red
Oh
food
yeah.
coloring.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Literally
Natural,
just-
natural.
Or
Yeah.
what about strawberry juice?
I don't know if that's red enough.
It would evaporate and go pink, wouldn't it? If it was
Probably.
Yeah.
strawberry,
Yeah, maybe that would.
maybe. I don't know.
But
Guess
strawberries
you'll
are
have to
yummy.
experiment now. It's not like you don't have enough opportunities to experiment.
Thanks for starting that because I definitely didn't want to take a break from it. But
Yeah,
No
beet
break from
juice.
lunch.
Yeah, beet juice is red.
Which
Now you
demands
got
to
me
be fed.
thinking. Yeah, beet juice is very red. I don't know if it's like a maroon red, right? Like it's
Yeah.
almost like a
It's like almost a blood red. Yeah.
burgundy.
and they're at the farmer's market now.
Makes me wonder if there might actually be like a vegan food dye that you could get that would be flavorless, and
Ooh,
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
definitely.
there's gotta be by now.
Ooh,
Yeah.
one more tomato paste. What would happen if you did that?
Could make a focaccia.
That'd be nice.
Okay, yeah, do that.
Oh,
Oh,
black
yeah.
olives and sun-dried tomatoes.
Yes.
Ooh,
There we
Yeah.
go.
sounds so good. I'm telling you, part of the reason why I was like doing videos because I'm halfway with like, okay, now I will be watching that. I don't have a machine, but that would be like, oh my god, I love cooking so bad. I love cooking, love it so much.
It's like such a powerful thing because I feel like when you get the opportunity to cook, you're not only nurturing yourself, but you're nurturing someone else, and you get an opportunity to be creative. Like you can play around with spices and cutting things, and it's like mindfulness.
It's yes, everything. It's edible art,
Mhm.
and during the cooking, like you said, the creativity, like when you said that, it made me think about like when I do asparagus, and just it's not even like so special, but just like I cut everything on a 45-degree angle, so
Mhm.
I like everything looks like penne pasta, but when it comes
Pretty.
out, when things are done, like it looks different. Like just the look of it to me, it may be something that you wouldn't even notice it if you're eating my food, or you wouldn't even think about it, or it wouldn't even impact you or anything. But for me, the cross section gets a certain color to it, and then everything that's you see what I mean? Like I get it. It's
Yeah,
so nerdy and fun.
right? I saw purple asparagus the other day. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, that
I
looked pretty
didn't
cool.
know. I
It's-
didn't know about that.
It's
I know
so
about
pretty.
purple cabbage, but never
Yeah,
purple
right?
carrot.
I've seen the
Yeah,
purple
the
lettuce,
purple
purple
basil.
cabbage, purple basil, but
Purple
like,
carrots.
yeah, purple
Purple
asparagus,
carrots.
purple
Yeah.
potatoes.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know-
Everything purple, I feel like it has like a sweetness to it that's a weird kind of,
Yeah.
almost like a sugar cane, a raw sugar cane. To me, it's
Mm.
like, if you ever were a kid, you chewed on the raw sugar cane.
No, but that sounds great.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, if you're a foodie, I honestly have no idea where you would find it. But when I was a kid, they always gave us raw sugar cane, and you
Really?
peeled it. And you know how it comes out in notches like a bamboo,
Yeah, yeah.
and when they'll give you a notch, and they'll peel it for you, and your little kid, you sit there biting and chewing on it. Yeah,
Dang.
very good, very
All I
nice.
got was sweet tea. I didn't get no sugar cane. What's given sweet tea
Missing
in a
out.
sippy cup? That's not cool.
You
When
were
I was, like,
deprived.
3. Yeah. Super deprived. Dang.
Cane power.
I didn't discover sugar cane until I was old enough to go to the bar, and I was ordering mojitos, and they always put like
All right.
that of sugar cane in there, chewing on the
Mhm.
sugar. Damn, been missing out.
You know what else we used to chew on? And I mean, me and every little other black kid that was around. The bark, I don't know what bark this is or what tree branch this is, but they're chew sticks. And especially in Chicago, have you ever seen people walking around where they're chewing on a
No, I've never seen
tree
that.
limb? A little branch. It looks like they're chewing on a branch. It's an actual. I don't know what. If I knew what tree it was or what root it was, then it would make more sense to you. But they have a way of flavoring them. But back in the day, before they hit the flavors, we could chew on those too. Yeah, food. Oof, don't get me started. Oh my god, I love. There's so many things that are. Forget about the sugar cane and the chew. The idea of those being raw, natural things that you can pick up and hand to a child, that kind of touches my heart as far as like, do we have things that you could just grow in your backyard and eat right away that are just like persimmons? My dad, when he was little, he used to always eat persimmons. I grew up eating a lot of fruit, nut. If you see my refrigerator, you will be like, you know what, Shanika, we're gonna do an intervention. You need to stop dieting. I'm really, really, really concerned about you. And it's like, no, I'm not dieting. I like healthy food. I like healthy food. I do not touch any type of fast food until the day that I'm not able to actually cook because my mental health is, you know, got me circling the drain. But honey,
It makes a big difference, though. Like a
mhm.
huge difference. Like I've been attempting just a more fruits, more veggies, more raw things. Like I've got some weird like texture. Can't think of the right word for it now.
No, I know. Yeah, I know like from, but I've heard that a lot of times. Yeah, people who don't like certain textures.
Like
Oh yeah.
soft things. I can't do it.
Squishy things.
Huh?
Squishy things.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
I wouldn't-
Sauce consistency things.
Slimy is probably very uncomfortable.
Yes.
Well, I bet you never. Yeah, I know you don't want okra, and you definitely should stay away from gumbo. 'Cause
That's what
very
I've
slimy.
heard. But
Yeah.
like bananas, I've only recently started eating those, like within the last 4 years. But like they must be green, and if they're not green, they're going in a smoothie. Otherwise, they're not
Understood,
gonna
yeah.
get eaten.
Do you make banana bread?
I have. It's not my favorite thing to make.
Still got to get that at work though.
Oh yeah, because you would have to be touching the bananas in their slimy form, so you're still, like interacting with the sliminess of it.
I
all.
just like whip it out of the
You should play
casing.
banana bread at work,
Oh,
bro.
play banana bread at work?
Yeah.
Is that allowed? Alright. There's a video Zach says we should share. It's a guy and he's stoned out of his mind and he's very excited about banana bread.
Okay.
So maybe we just need to go there for a minute or two. Zach, how do I do
Okay.
this?
So you start by sharing your screen. Where is it?
Okay.
Go Chrome tab
Okay.
and go to the one that's not equals history. No. Right along here.
This one?
That one. Yep. Click on that.
Okay.
Gesundheit.
Why are you tapping in all caps like a weirdo?
Because it's freaking you out and that's the only reason for doing it now. Okay. Here we go.
Dude, I got some fucking banana bread at work today, dude. Hell yeah. My mom told me if I wait for things, like, good things will happen to me, dude. And fucking I waited for some things and I got some banana bread at work today, dude. Hell yeah. So it just goes to show that waiting for things is, like, worth it. But there's a lot of bad things in this world, dude. Like fucking skunks, dude. Hell no. Scratching your eye, but it's still fucking itchy, dude. Hell no. The fucking Cubs, dude. Hell no. Like getting paid, not a lot of money, dude, for fucking working. Hell no. But banana bread, I fucking work, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Banana bread, bro. Hell fucking work, dude. Hell yeah. I got some fucking banana bread at work.
He sounds like a Cubs fan.
Right?
Okay,
So,
we hear you.
Right?
Yeah, he's actually from Chicago. He
Okay,
plays
okay.
he plays in a band called Man Wolf.
Okay,
was
Do I
pretty
know
good.
my people or do I know my people?
Yeah.
I told you.
It's like the bit about like getting paid, not a lot of money
That's
for
it.
fucking working, dude.
That's how they sound. Oh, that was a foul ball. That was wonderful. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Banana
I
bread.
love him. I want to be his friend. I would make him a banana bread.
I told you, Chicago people, Chicagoans, everybody loves Chicagoans because Chicagoans love everybody. we'll make you laugh today. You're not going home with a frown on your face, trust me.
See, that's nice. That's what friends are for.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm still tripping about the fact that you said he's actually from Chicago. I'm surprised, but not surprised. That happens a lot. Like my people, they'll be like, "Are you from Chicago?" Oh wow.
Dumbass neighbors revving up this time.
What happened?
Dirt bikes. They're doing a dirt bike race. They're gonna rip across our apartment parking or the grass soon.
Yeah, our neighbors always riding their dirt bikes around.
Oh,
Their motorized dirt bikes.
I'm gonna guess they're not from Chicago.
No,
I don't know.
the
I don't know
fucking
anything about dirt bikes, but I hear you. But now, when they start shooting, they might be from Chicago then.
I don't know. They're they put like fireworks in their fire pit
Yeah.
for fun, just to see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm surprised any of them have eyebrows left at this point, but
No, not that we lost him in the back.
oh, one thing I don't care for, and it sounds so snotty. I hate this neighborhood when it's the 4th of July.
Oh my
I
God.
do.
It's like a war zone around here. It's like
They're lighting them off in the middle of the street,
there's
blocking
no
traffic.
space between fireworks. It's
Oh,
constant.
I remember those days. Yeah.
And like our neighbors are so sweet, but both of their children are on the autism spectrum, so it's a lot.
Yeah, they got sensory
them.
issues, and they hate that stuff.
Yeah. And it happens on the regular, like not even just 4th of July, which
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't heard more, being that it's only
don't call
couple
that.
weeks away,
Don't summon
3
that.
weeks
You
away.
know we're gonna now just because you said it,
Yeah,
that's gonna be our
like,
weekend.
Oh, there's the signal. Let's go get all the fireworks now.
Right. Let's blow off our yard. Forget the mower. We can just blow it up.
We took a wrong turn down just a side street, and like there must have been 20 people in the middle of the street setting off fireworks.
Oh my goodness.
They had to move their fireworks setups out of the way so we could get through.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was funny when you were like said something about like you wonder if your neighbors are from Chicago. The reason why I said that was because like they fireworks were or maybe still are illegal in Illinois, but when we would get them, we'd get them from Indiana and we'd go
That's the
fucking
thing.
nuts.
Yeah, they were illegal in Minnesota for quite some time, and they would just go over the border to Wisconsin, which is like, 30 miles away.
And they'd advertise to us too.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
come get
So then
it.
eventually they're just like, well, they're just getting into Wisconsin anyway. They'll just make them legal here, and so they made them legal here.
Oh, okay. So people are like, what, just like super excited that it's legal now? Like,
I
yeah,
guess
if
so.
something becomes legal, people are like, oh my God.
I mean, I could see that if it were like pot.
Well, yeah, but that's a little quieter.
It's a lot different.
That's like the opposite of fireworks, because people stop yelling and screaming.
That's not true, because that's not what happened for me.
Well, you were just excited.
Still.
You're the creative stoner.
I don't know. I've smoked a lot of pot while watching fireworks. Very chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like it used to be very limited in Michigan. They weren't completely banned, but you could only get shitty ones, like sparkler. Fucking, not the big booms that you can set off and actually have a fireworks show. So we used to do the same thing. Fucking drive over to Indiana and get the shit. Now they're legal there, so like when that happened, Everybody went ham on that shit. One of my friend's exes actually blew a big ass hole in the lawn with a quarter stick of dynamite.
Oh wow.
Ever stand?
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
crazy shit. But
Oh shit. Yeah, people do go off with it. They go crazy. Do you remember all the gender reveal? Like, do you remember when somebody had a gender reveal and and set a whole forest on fire because they wanted
yep,
everybody to know?
Uh-huh.
I'm like, wow, yeah, gender is that important to people that we're ready to
That
burn down
important.
the forest preserve just to let you know whether or not our child got a wee wee or a winky. Y'all people crazy as hell. What the heck?
Right?
Like, come on now. It's not that serious. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
right.
Like,
Like,
also,
are the
like,
people okay out there?
no.
No.
Just kidding.
No.
No, we're not okay. We're
This-
seriously fucked in the head.
To be clear, it's not just straight people. It's white, straight, middle class people
Be
in
very
the
specific.
suburbs.
Yeah.
For
oh,
great shit to do. Of like, we've got to set off fireworks in the color that we've assigned to this gender. What?
Yeah.
And there are fires every year that get set off from that shit. People are
Right?
so dumb.
It's like, how many fucking houses got burnt down? People lost their
Yeah,
homes
sure.
because these motherfuckers wanted to be that extra about the shape of their unborn child's genitals. What?
I mean, I could see, like, having, okay, if I had a functional reproductive system and was able to bear a child, I feel like I would be excited about opening, like, I wouldn't want to be told. I would want to open the envelope at home to see
yeah,
the sex, right?
yeah.
Or maybe I'd have a witch party to be
Mhm.
like, look what's brewing, a baby.
Nice.
Yeah.
Put that in your cauldron, right? Like,
Right.
something like that. But, like, I mean, I don't think I need to burn the house down to be like, it's a pink one.
I am so happy about the good news that I decided to commit arson. Yay!
Right.
Level of happiness.
Arson.
Arson.
New-
Okay. All right. Cool.
Oh
I don't know where they do that at, but okay.
Well, it's okay for them because they're white, so they're just gonna be like, you know, maybe
Can
you
I
should
just
burn
say-
your house down.
Can I just say, people have said, "Oh, Shanika, you're so refreshing." Do you know what's refreshing to me? White people talking shit about white people. Both of you are like,
All the
the
time.
white people shit.
It is.
Someone
It is.
It's like they get all excited about. Okay, let's talk about that for a little bit, shall we? Let's just go there. Let's talk about fucking St. Patrick's Day. Like,
Oh God.
okay, John Johnson from fucking accounting. I'm glad that you're excited that you think you might be Irish because your grandpa farted on the Blarney Stone at one point in your life, and you think that that's what makes you that, and you're just so deeply involved in this Irish culture that you have. Like, shut up! You're right! Like, pull up a DNA test and maybe try celebrating one day that doesn't involve diet alcohol and excessive drinking.
Right.
Then I
You do
might
know that
believe your cultural tie.
You do know that they dye Lake Michigan green for
Oh no,
Yes.
it's so sick.
Oh,
talking
Hell
about
no.
artificial food dyes as y'all were talking about earlier.
right? Full circle. Like, what is your culture? It's khaki shorts. It's khaki cargo shorts and tiki torches. That's what your fucking culture is.
That.
That's
That.
I know you want to pretend like it's so much more complex than that, but it's not. You're imported Euro trash, okay?
Oh my God.
That's what you are.
Yes.
And that's okay. Walk with it.
Celebrating massacre at that, and most of them don't even fucking know it. St.
Oh yeah,
Patty's
no one knows
Day
that.
is celebration of that motherfucker. Okay, they say, oh, he killed off all the snakes on Ireland. Snakes don't live on that fucking island, okay? They're talking
Yep.
about witches. They massacred a bunch of fucking witches because St. Patrick was fucking dead set against witches. That's what they're celebrating, and it's like, your green beer is bullshit. Put away your fucking
Yeah,
You don't even know what the fuck. Like,
right.
what's wrong with people?
Oh,
Like-
it's all an excuse to get drunk. That's one thing.
Right. And that's just it.
Oh,
It's like buying into this special thing, like, oh, look at me. Like, no. No one's looking, no one cares. You're about as Irish as a box of fucking Lucky Charms. Get over it.
American holidays are no more than an excuse to indulge in vice. Let's see.
Yeah.
We
Right.
Buy
got,
stuff and get drunk.
Fat Tuesday, aka Mardi Gras. We got, drinking on St. Patty's Day,
Yeah.
eating three human beings worth of a meal on Thanksgiving, spending, all your money into $2,000 worth of debt by February called Christmas. Did I leave anything out? Like, it's just
Yeah.
all about going into some excess.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, on the contrary, there's also, Pride Month which is
Yeah.
this
Oh,
month.
yeah.
There's
And
also
that's a good
Mental Health
celebration.
Month. I mean, I dig all that because
Yeah.
we're actually about, hey, civil rights and helping people. But yeah, I mean, just to get all, shit faced, and dye the river green is not,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 4th of July. Now it's time to shoot. Because watch, 4th of July, how many people are going to be accidentally shot by stray bullets? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah.
And it's a celebration of our country, America.
Yeah. Celebration of the bourgeois revolution that
And it's to do arson.
we still have to deal with today.
Congratulations, you fucked up society.
Well, I mean, I'm glad we don't live under a king. That's definitely good. And even Marx said you have to go through capitalism first before you get to socialism. But yeah, we kind of stalled out for a
How long
couple
do
hundred
we
years.
have to go through
Apparently-
capitalism to get to
Apparently about
socialism?
250 years.
Oh my
It's
God.
consuming itself right now, so
Oh, it is. It is. It's just a question of whether it devolves back into fascism or whether we actually do
It's-
it right this time.
It's the Aurora. I can never say the name of that thing right. The snake that
Ouroboros.
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 What is it? What is
Circle
it called?
snake
Aurora
eating its tail.
Borealis. What?
Yeah, there you go.
No.
Aurora.
Hey, that's pretty. I
That
like
is
that.
that's a nice thing.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
So,
the snake and then the
Yeah,
yeah.
it eats itself. Cannibalism. Full circle.
Well, eat the rich.
There we go.
Right.
That's a
Between
holiday
eat the
to
rich
get
and let them eat cake, it's about to get funky out here. So.
I mean, I would like some cake. Just saying.
Now that would be a really good cooking show. Would be like Eat the Rich or some shit, like just something where it just made a play on that, but really like
serving the
cooking
rich.
for the purpose of. I'd love to, like, if y'all really wanted to, like, even if it's not a show, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just excited about the idea of it being a topic, period. Like, just the idea of cooking and stuff. And in these times of, crisis and whatnot, knowing how to do a couple of basic things to keep yourself healthy. Just all the good things, like healthy, saving money, but good, tasty food, and then, like, my brother from Chicago being like, it's motherfucking banana bread, that whole thing, kind of like, I'm Pickle Rick,
Yeah.
That actually we should do that because I think we're going into depression. I really do. I think the market's going to crash before 2023. That's my witch vibe. I think.
Well,
I think
a
it's
lot of things have hit that, and disclaimer, I'm no expert, so I'm barely kind of still trying to get an understanding. But from what I can glean, real estate and cryptocurrency and a lot of little things that
Oh, yeah, crypto's
usually
really
do
piled
go
on to that.
silly. A lot of that stuff is
Totally just evaporated in the last few months. And then there's the housing market where housing prices are going up on average more than the average income of people. That can't last forever.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a Bitcoin ATM
Oh my god.
in our general vicinity. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
A Bitcoin what does that even mean?
It means you go there and you stand for an hour and a half and hope that you can get out your money from Bitcoin because it takes so long to do a single transaction that the price of the Bitcoin can actually change within that time.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, it's a really shitty
Why would
system.
you do that?
Because you're a crypto bro and you think that you're sticking it to the Fed.
So, no, my brain can't right now.
Yeah.
Watch
Like
Line Goes Up.
I don't fully understand it, but
I'm
from
a
my
person.
understanding, like you said, the price, the value of things changing so quickly, like the
Yeah.
stock market moves slower than
Well,
what
I mean,
how Bitcoin was moving, it seems. So it's like,
but I mean that these cryptocurrencies, they're not really even functional currencies because they function on rapid deflation so that you actually make money on your investment. They're just investment tools. So like most currency, you don't want to have deflation because that screws up your entire economy. But this is the only way that cryptocurrencies actually are worth anything is through huge deflation.
But why aren't we? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh, okay. I was gonna say, what about non-fungible tokens, NFTs? I'm gonna
It's
sell
all
a
the same.
picture of a picture.
Yeah,
Same kind of thing, like the
same
idea.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
It just seems silly and childish and
It is.
not.
It is.
I guess childish maybe isn't the right word. It just seems.
No, it's the right word.
But I think
It's the
kids
right
are
word.
smarter than that. 'Cause
It-
kids would be
seems-
like,
I think-
why would you sell
I mean, there's a reason.
It
that
seems
crypto
illogical, right? Like it
It-
seems illogical. Like we all believe in, if I reach in my wallet and I've got like maybe a $5 bill or $20 bill, we all of us agree and have the agreement and the faith that when I hand this to a teller at at the cashier at the gas station or whatever, that I'm exchanging at. Now it's I can't use pesos here. You know what I'm saying? So like I hear what you're saying. It sounds like, Amanda, you're saying it seems so illogical. Like how in the hell does this? It all has to do, from what I understand, a lot of it by the fact that the Fed just keeps printing. Used to be the gold standard, but the Fed just keeps printing money.
Yeah, see, but
So it's like-
the people that want to go back to the gold standard want deflation so that their money is worth more. And it only benefits the rich people. So
But capitalism is manufactured anyway, so
in fact,
just print the damn.
the rich people tried a revolution because we went off the gold standard, because they wanted to hang on to their fortunes.
Well, that's too bad. Tell Bourgeois to lick my ass. We all need money. We all need to be able to do things. As long as we live in this shitty ass system, we need things. And until you're gonna start giving people their baseline shit, you can lick my ass.
Yeah, well, they don't care about that.
Listen, here's what I need. Here's what I'm gonna need. Everybody gets housing.
Yep.
And it's tailored to what they need, want. Then you get an option, right? You get a list of 5 cities, 5 types of houses, and you can have your top 3, right? Your top 3. You will get something in your top 3. It may not be your number 1, but it's going to be in your top 3, okay? And if worse comes to worse and everything is just a dumpster fire, you're going to get one of your 5, right? You're getting it. Food. You're going to get food. You're going to have food no matter what. You're going to get healthcare. And I mean mental health, physical health, teeth, vision, you name it, it's covered. Because then people can take preventative measures.
Yes.
And then people can take the jobs that maybe they would not have taken under other circumstances because, hey, the baseline's met. And that's how it's going to work. And if Elon Musk, Martin Shkreli, all those other
I think he's in
poop
prison.
stains, I don't care. All those other poop stains on the underwear of humanity that are just going to exploit the shit out of people, they get nothing.
Yeah.
Or they only get to keep what they have.
Can I say something quick about Martin Shkreli?
Yes.
He I don't know if y'all saw. Okay, so I take such a weird interest in things as far as like when it comes to psychology. I just kind of want to see what's in somebody's head. Obviously, he's an asshole, right? So we don't have to debate that. But I just was curious, like what? And I heard about like he was online at some point in time or whatever, and he was kind of like he would just be sitting there like putting his number out there so people could talk with him. So like you kind of know most billionaires or millionaires or whatever, they're not they're not sitting around on. You either got Martin Shkreli or Kanye West or somebody like sitting there on, Instagram or on YouTube or something, sitting up there broadcasting themselves, in a very personal way, meaning like they're just sitting there in their house, clipping their fingernails, waiting for somebody to call. Like, what the hell? And the point that I'm making is that it's not just about him, but it was an interesting window into the look of, like, at the end of the day, these people are like so horribly lonely and decrepit and crappy that they're kind of taking it out on all of us. Totally not an excuse that I'm trying to make for them.
Right.
On the
No.
opposite, I'm just sort of like looking at it like at the, all the stuff they say about like very extremely rich people, how,
They're
the money isn't the thing that makes you,
lonely.
oh my God. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like he was live streaming for, I don't know if anybody saw that or heard of that. Like I just, kind of,
I
when
would
I heard his name,
believe
I
it.
did all the research I could. Oh, say what?
I would believe it. Like, I mean,
Oh yeah.
I think there's got to be a certain amount of loneliness that goes along with that. And, like, because of how society has turned people, you don't know who's, like, legitimately your friend or not.
Oh yeah.
Like, and that's the problem with it. If we just put the means back in people's hands and even the playing field out a bit, maybe more people would have more choices, more friends, more everything. Everyone could have stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And
there's
if it's-
definitely enough to go around, but
Mhm.
according to the laws of inflation and as well as the law of supply and demand, when you multiply those by each other, you get stuff like NFTs and Bitcoin, and
Mhm.
the idea that all Martin Shkreli did was have a conversation with a number of people and make this person and that person exchange this amount of information, money, and legal whatever. He didn't actually like when you're talking about actual making money and creating wealth, and he created wealth out of thin air. He didn't like grow a garden or sell
Right.
banana bread, you know.
Yeah.
So in order to be that type of person, to I mean, it's almost like might makes right, which means
Yeah.
ruthlessness and completely like playing dirty in any possible way
Just being a
towards your fellow
psychopath,
human
yeah.
being.
Yeah.
Like that's the reason why I watched it, not because I'm a fan or I'm
Mhm.
gonna go get a
No.
Shkreli t-shirt,
No,
but
no, I hear
because
ya.
you know what I'm trying to say. Like
Yeah.
I want to know my enemy.
Yeah.
Right. No,
I
no,
want
no.
to Sun Tzu my ass through this shit.
I'm 100% there with you. Like, I just want to see it. I want to see it in action, and I want to understand how it operates.
Yes.
That way I can make a better argument later. Like, okay, confession time. I love watching Real Housewives.
Mm.
But it's just to see how incredibly out of touch with reality that
Okay.
these people are.
Pause.
But at
What?
the
What?
same
Hulu
time-
or where do you watch them at? Because I'm ready to jump directly into whatever it is that you watch. Because I love shit like that, and for the
Hulu.
same reason. No, for the same
Yeah.
reason. I see
Like-
Jack laughing. It's for the same reason. I love to watch
Yeah.
this wretched, raggedy
Oh,
shit.
Right?
I got my junk food TV too.
It's like, and they're just like, I just watched. I love New York and New Jersey. They're my favorite because it's just it's a
It's just-
deeper level of
Constant drama.
constant drama. But
For
like,
no
they're
reason.
talking about going through the pandemic and like having a mental breakdown and they can't do anything. And I was like, I've seen you bitches go to about 75 different places and you're not masking. And this is like
Well, they wanted to
during
go
the
to
pandemic.
76 places though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's just funny because it's like, you're doing a lot more than I am right now. Not that I necessarily want to be where you are, but like, you have far more options. Like, you can still go to the Hamptons or
Oh, for sure.
like, it's crazy that. But then it's like,
it's like that Dudley meme. 30 presents. Last year I got 60 presents. Wasn't that from Harry Potter?
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like this shift in perspective, and like again, that's a good point because I think about Christmas a lot. Like, Oh, the number of presents? For starters, y'all, the number of gifts under the tree ain't shit. It's what's in the box. Is it what you wanted?
Thought that counts.
Is it what you asked for? And the thought that counts too. But I'm just saying. Like,
It's, I mean, it's like, it's almost as if you had to like draw a distance or measure the distance between what pain is for them and what pain is for us.
Oh yeah.
And like almost like I don't know the word, but Zach, I know you're gonna know exactly what I'm trying to say right now, but it's almost like that disgust, but like you're watching a train wreck kind of thing. Not that you're not the schadenfreude of enjoying somebody's pain, but I'm talking about like
Oh yeah.
just you're looking at this unbelievably like, oh my god, I broke a nail and now I spend two weeks at rehab because I don't mean to be I shouldn't say rehab, like I'm not trying to hate on addicts, but like something.
no, I get what
severe.
you're saying. Like, and what does rehab look for that woman? Like, it's probably pretty glamorous. It's not like a fucking concrete building in the middle of nowhere with absolutely jack shit going on. We should talk about rehab sometime too,
Yeah.
because I have some strong feelings about it, even though I have never gone through it. But this idea of abstinence, 100% abstinence, really doesn't resonate well with me because I don't think that it works.
Yeah. I don't. I think you're talking about harm reduction. Where is that what you're talking about? Where harm reduction, where it's okay to utilize the drug of choice or the self medication, but to do it with a. Are we talking about the same thing? Like harm
Kind of.
reduction?
Like, I mean, okay, so if somebody has like a substance abuse problem and we're talking about like, okay, let's just say alcoholism, right?
Yes.
They're an alcoholic. Having them stop drinking alcohol for a little bit
Yeah.
to understand where the problem is coming from and then coping with that problem should not mean that that person can never ever have another sip of alcohol again if they so choose, because they've
Gotcha.
resolved the underlying issue. But
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong. I don't
Yeah.
know. This is just
Yeah.
something
You
that
literally
tossed around in
just-
my head.
You literally just described the difference between me at 24 versus me a few years later able to drink again and enjoy a couple of drinks and get fucking shit-faced, numbing myself to life, and actually have a healthy relationship with alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Rare that I
Yeah.
drink, but when I do, I can actually enjoy it. Whereas from the age of 11 to 24, I was fucking numbing myself because I hadn't dealt with my shit.
Right.
You knowing that is the difference between you knowing that that's what you were doing, which was numbing yourself, is the difference between, it sounds like you abusing versus, what they call drink responsibly.
Right.
That sounds like to me,
Yeah.
Have you guys covered the rat paradise experiment on the show before?
Wait, can I summarize it and spoil it for everybody?
Go ahead.
Because I'm such an asshole and an arrogant psychologist. Can I tag me in, coach?
Go ahead.
It's when they prove that a rat, well, anybody, if given the option between having cocaine and sleeping, eating, or sex, the rat will choose the cocaine and coke out till they die.
Yep.
Bam!
Yep.
Let the church say amen.
But then they found that if they put that rat not just in a cage by itself, but with a bunch of other rats, with all sorts of rat stimulation stuff, like things to climb on,
Rat
mazes to go
toys.
through, rat toys, like everything a little rat heart could want.
Yeah.
That they will sometimes choose the drug water, but they'll never, hurt themselves with it. And most of the time they'll just live their little rat lives. So the problem was the system. And the problem was not the drugs. It's not that the drugs just put like chemical hooks into you. It's that they're just a coping mechanism for a shitty reality.
Yep. That's okay. And I'm just gonna like my mind is just absorbing that other half of the rat experiment
Mhm.
right now. I'm just like I'm just forcing myself to just like absorb because I love that that was the other
Yeah,
part
have
of
fun
it
with that.
because you're right.
Yeah.
I don't begrudge anybody who does any substance. I begrudge the fact that sometimes people can do a substance and then just turn loose, unleash wicked and wild onto society and then just be given a pat on the back and, type of stuff. That's the part that gets to me. But as far as like somebody doing something and the balance of it being like it's not something the substance itself isn't then causing other problems. And even when the person, sets loose on society, blah blah blah, I'm probably just really bitter based on my mother was busy, raising my crack addicted aunt's children instead of tending to me, and B, in the worst of all of my despair, I'm constantly being, being emotionally beat the shit out of because somebody's got it worse and that somebody's pretty much always somebody who's addicted to a substance. I'm just sort of like, I literally never hit the crack pipe, but I'm getting tons of crack related problems.
Hmm.
That's the shit. That's the part for me that's really fucked up. And by the way, as far as my sobriety or whatever, I'm doing it the way that I'm doing it because you don't want to see me, untwisted on the bad juice. Fuck the bullshit. You think I'm crazy now? I would be humping a fucking like post the next time you see me. You don't want to fuck with me. You don't want to go. I told you about when I was I had a bottle of Bacardi and I took one little. Did I tell you this was years ago? This is like a little bit before I went into the shelters. I had bought myself I was drinking Guinness stouts and I was just drinking. That was the most alcohol that I was like because I like the frothy and it's like a deep coffee taste. I
Mhm.
was drinking Guinness stouts or Budweiser and I bought a bottle of Bacardi. Um and I took a little shot of it. It was feeling so good. I literally poured the rest of it down. I was like, "Oh, not today, Satan." Pour that damn thing down that because it's just sort of like I have to know that I'm about to walk through that door of whether it's a genetic thing that's going to flip over when if I were to indulge beyond that point, that could have been, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That would have been the point that I would have really turned into an alcoholic. And what did I do? I chose, let me just go stick with the weed at the time. So I don't begrudge anybody their thing or whatever. I'm not trying to. And that's another thing back to the projection. You don't know how many people hate the shit out of me because they assume that I hate the shit out of them because they drink.
Mhm.
Please chase that sentence around the room for a couple of more minutes and see how. And now you understand what I fucking go through. You're mad at me because my sobriety makes you feel like I feel something against you because you get the fuck out of my face. You know what I mean? Like, damn, I'm literally saying that I would be a worse drunk. I'm literally saying that I cannot handle it.
Mhm.
Why in the fuck you mad at me? Excuse me. Oh my god.
Right.
I'm not. When if I watch this again, I'm gonna be like, Shanika, why can't you just shut up?
No, you would
Anytime
watch it, you would be like, yes.
at the bar, like for a friend's gig, and drinking water or whatever juice or body armor or some shit I brought with me that I'm not drinking. You know, the first few years that I didn't fucking drink at all, a lot of people were like, "Holy shit." I've even had friends be like, "Fucking really?" Because they tried to pass me a plate of Coke, and I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm smoking my joint."
Yeah, yeah.
Like, wait a minute, you? You just turned down a line? Yep, I did.
Cool.
Why? Because when I start drinking and doing Coke and shit like that, then I'm gone into fucking oblivion. I don't want to be there.
Yeah,
I spend enough time there. I already know all of this out. I'm good. I'll my weed, you know?
yeah, for sure.
And it's not to hate on anybody. Enjoy it. Do what you do. But I'm good.
Oh
But
yeah,
that's another thing of like, if I wanted to hit a line, I would. Because again, that self control measure is at least there now that wasn't there when I was young.
yeah.
You know, And there's a world of difference between use and abuse of a drug.
That's it.
Same as there is with alcohol.
Yes.
World of difference.
Straight up, yes.
Yes.
And like, if it just were all legal, like all of it,
Yep.
the government could regulate it better and make sure
Wouldn't
it's
we
safe,
get
and you
stopped
wouldn't have
on?
people dying and
Do a nummy check. Sorry.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was like, you're just not gonna have people dying all the damn time because they thought they had something they didn't actually have.
That.
You wouldn't want that. I mean, they're never gonna turn down a chance to, have people dying.
But I
part.
mean, you think the money, we live in capitalism, you think the money would be more fucking appealing.
Well,
I mean,
no,
some
what's more
criminalizing across the board. Even some psychedelics and shit too, of like magic mushrooms, ketamine, etc. Just depends where you're at.
I mean, somebody needs to lawyer up, and then bring the rat experiment to court and be like, listen, twat, we need to legalize the shit out of this right now.
That was great. Listen, twat.
Clearly, I should have went to school to be a lawyer. Like,
the thing, I hate to play devil's advocate as usual. Who am I kidding? I love to play devil's advocate, but seriously, unfortunately, what's more valuable than money is the potential of more money in the future. It's
Right.
way more profitable for the government, I suppose, to profit off of people not being able to access their needed, like, I don't even know what to call it. Like, I think Zach was the one who said something about like just getting through shitty life, like the rat experiment and stuff. Like, hey, I just need just a little bit. They legalized marijuana in Illinois, and it kind of it was because everything, well, in my opinion, it was because the critical mass of people who were using probably got to a point where now it's time to make some money off of it and it's worth legalizing it. But keeping it illegal in certain places is better so that you can actually make the money off of putting people in jail over dealing this, that, and the other. So it all has to do with, am I making more money now or more money in the future? That's my look at it.
Yeah.
Like when they do raids right now, they can keep stacks of cash. They can keep the drugs themselves, and fucking half the time they're turning around reselling it themselves. But they can also seize your home, your vehicles, anything that they can point at. Like, well, I think they might have spent drug money to buy this shit, so it's forfeiture of all of your fucking assets. And they make a lot more money doing that. And also being able to make money off of imprisoning you and all that shit too, than a lot of times they would off of legalization and taxation.
If the money side of things is so tripped out to me, because I wish that I could tell, how can I say this? I wish that the people who are fighting for the legalization, I almost wish that I could just tell all of them, like, I get that you keep wanting to come to the government with this idea that money can be made, but money isn't the bigger issue that the government is probably going to hear if you were to bring it to, because basically what you're saying is the people need this, and the people need this is the very first thing to turn them off from hearing you. It's almost as if, like, in order to really get that done, if you want to be 100% honest, you'd have to figure out a way legally that legalization of substances helps the government, not just with money. There has to be some other thing. There has to be some, like if it were a bill that it was carried, but also within there was legal language about something. I don't know. Like,
Sure.
It would just have to benefit them. But money isn't. They're not going to snap. They're not going to blink an eye about the money until it gets to a point of they know that they're going to make a fucking killing, like in Illinois.
Well, Coca-Cola is a large corporation, and they donate a lot of money to the government. So maybe Coca-Cola could start branding Coke. You know, they're already on brand.
They
And then
originally had
that would ensure.
Yeah, they originally had that in there.
Yeah, there was already Coke in the Coke.
Cocaine.
That's why they call it Coke. Okay.
That is why they
Getting
call
back
it
to
Coke.
their original recipe.
Mhm.
All right, so there it is. Like, come on.
That
Problem
makes a
solved.
lot of sense.
I mean, that's the one I have to say I'm not particularly interested in, but I mean it is very popular around the white ladies and white community.
Yeah.
So it's a high-end substance abuse problem.
Oh my God.
That's why it's criminalized less than crack, which is the same thing in a different form.
Right.
But Ativan, though.
Doing a line off the toilet seat. Oh my God, it's so gross. Ugh.
Has anybody had Xanax?
I have not.
No.
Not in a
I've
long
never had
time.
it, but I've say what?
Said not in a long time.
I don't know what it's like, but whoever has, like, I've heard of that did it, they were just sort of seemed like it was like pretty fun. I'm like, wow, is this an actual psychotropic medication? I've never had it. I kind of stayed away from the benzos.
I only
I've
ever
heard
took
of
it
it.
when I was needing to chill the fuck out, so that was its effect was, ooh, chill the fuck out, and can breathe. But I don't know. I imagine people taking it in larger doses recreationally might have been like, woo! I was not there.
I probably need some, but I'd be scared. Because I'm so scary.
It does sound pretty
Let's see.
intense. Like I heard about what flight attendants call Xanax zombies. It's people that they're anxious about flying, so they just pop a Xanax and they've never done it before, and they just like basically blink the fuck out, and you can't really even reach them. They just like, yeah.
Damn. Sounds like you're taking too large of a dose, not knowing what the fuck you're doing.
They're not knowing what they're doing, so yeah.
Right.
I wonder how many ladies miss their layovers that way.
Probably.
I just didn't get off the plane. Just wandered to the wrong gate. I thought it said 8, but it said 0. Whatever, I don't know.
Next stop, Schadenfreude.
Oh my gosh, I'm like crying.
Oh wow.
It's so great.
I'm still laughing about how Zach and Amanda were going in on white people, like the St. Patty's and all the different. Sorry.
It's embarrassing. I'm very scared to travel abroad. Because I'm going to be like, listen, I know we're stupid, but we're not trying to be stupid, us personally. Please don't take this sample as, like, to determine it for all.
Maybe it's
Right.
Oh,
Ambien,
of course.
so-
It's
Okay.
Not
fair.
all Americans are complete fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Might be the laughing stock of the rest of the fucking world, but most of us are laughing with the rest of the world. Like, God damn it!
Yeah. Yeah, it's
the
wild
only
over
way.
here.
It's the only way we're going to get by.
Right, when it's laugh or cry or
Yep.
scream.
Yep.
Like, speaking of laughing or crying, may I ask what Joseph Biden's been up to? Because I swear I haven't heard jack shit in like 6 months. So
Wait a minute.
is this like the Queen, where maybe she's alive, maybe she's not? Like maybe
yeah,
he's
they're gonna
alive, maybe he's
Start
not.
bringing along a holographic Joe Biden to talk to people, like they've been doing with
Right.
the Queen.
Yeah. I don't know. Something feels like it's up.
I don't know
Wow.
whether it was or his hologram speaking, but there was a statement put out sucking the boot after the fucking school shooting. trying to say that they didn't want to push for a deeper investigation into the Uvalde shooting because they support the police. And it's like, get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me?
You're supposed to have oversight over those police. Like,
right. There really should be a federal investigation.
Absolutely, they should, because they're still intimidating people who are just talking about their experience.
So, I was watching Legal Eagle on YouTube. I enjoy him a lot. Feel free to check him out sometime. So he will talk about hot button situations. And he was talking about that one in particular and was talking about the lack of police reaction really got a lot of people naturally upset, thinking okay, this is your damn job. This is what you got the boom boom stick for in your fucking utility belt.
Right.
Fucking Iron Man shit. So do it. And
basically,
they just sat there. Well, it turns out the school social worker has more responsibility to the kids, and that they can't sue the police, but they can sue the social workers. And I was like,
yep,
that's fucked up.
Yep. Yeah.
Now
that I knew. Aside from this, I didn't even connect that. Yeah, I've heard of that before. Definitely have heard of that before.
I've just been enlightened about that, Shanika, and I was so mad I almost flipped my fucking coffee table. What? Mm-hmm. How can they be held more responsible than the cops? They are legally required to be at school. If you are a truant or miss a certain amount of school, Deputy Doofy's going to come to your house, and he's going to keep coming to your house until your little ass shows up at school, or he's going to steal your parents.
Yep. I mean, and again, you mentioning this right now, I'm just sitting here, just trying to twirl and swirl in my mind, just connecting the dots with you, along with you right now. Yep, I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of the social workers and there's all these little things that they have to abide by, in addition to the possibility of you being sued. The things that they have to abide by when they interact with the students and with people, with the students or whatever. There's so much of that their hands are tied unless certain requirements or conditions are met in the situation. It's almost like how Zen brought up holding space. If you have a friend that's having a mental health crisis and they need to talk, let's use that word space for a moment. The social worker or counselor or the school counselor is required to hold space, almost like a therapist, without the power of or the support of the support that a therapist will have. It's almost similar to you know what I'm trying to say? It's almost similar to the responsibilities of a not a therapist, you're just sitting there talking to the school counselor for an hour. But I mean stuff for example, a kid, depending on their age, may or may not come in and say such and such is happening to me. But the social worker can't get, involved up to a certain level. Then if a certain thing is crossed, then they must get involved. Does that make sense? I'm having a hard time saying it because it's sort of I'm trying to relate it in so many different ways.
Right.
So that's another layer, so you can see how their hands are just tied in so many ways.
Yeah. They can't really do that much, and I mean, shit. Even as okay, I don't want to get too off track, but with school social worker, if your parents don't sign off for you to talk to the social worker, they can't be talking, or you guys can't be working together, which is so strange because if your parents beating the shit out of you, they're not going to sign for you to talk to the social worker. They'll do anything to keep you away from the social worker. Exactly. That's the part about when I said holding space. I'm trying to sort of evoke this idea of there being this sort of weird legal space, if that makes sense. Yeah, I get what you're laying down. Yeah. And it's just it's screwed up, but it's how many freaking cops were lined up outside of that school when this is going down and that guy's like charging and they're like, oh, I'm scared, I can't do anything. Like, bitch, it's your job to be scared. You should be scared. Also, you have the same weapons he does. Why don't you take him down? Why don't you shoot him in the leg so that he falls over and then he can't move?
Plus,
Yeah, why are you trying to stop the parents who actually have the balls to go in and save their children? Why are you putting them and throwing them in the back of cruisers? You bitch made motherfucking pig.
Right. And then the one parent who did have the balls to go in and got past the police, saved her own children, saved a bunch of other children, and now they are threatening her with legal action if she talks about it to the press. That's the worst police department I've ever heard of. They need to be disbanded immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
Entirely new hiring. Like,
Honestly,
have it taken over by the state.
Like, they need to be facing criminal charges.
Absolutely.
Okay? It's already
I mean,
fucking ridiculous that you're not allowed to sue them, but these people belong in jail. They're directly responsible.
Well, legally, too, the Supreme Court has ruled several times that the police have no duty to defend the citizenry. They only have a duty to uphold the laws. So after you've committed a crime, they have a duty to come arrest you. But they don't have a duty to stop any crime.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So if Deputy Dumbass is supposed to be responsible for uploading the laws, right?
Upholding.
Whatever. He only has 6 weeks of training, Deputy Dumbass.
Yeah.
But a lawyer has 8 years of fucking law school.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they still have to go look stuff up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and a social worker can be legally liable for mistakes they make. A
Right.
teacher can be legally liable.
Yes!
All have
Straight up,
years and
yes!
years of training.
Oh!
Somehow police just get a free pass for everything, though.
Bullshit!
Right. They don't
I
even
call-
know the laws that they're supposed to uphold.
Right.
This is bourgeois
Or follow
democracy.
them
They are
themselves.
here.
Yeah.
They are
They
here
got-
to uphold property rights for
Yep.
the rich. That's what their duty has always been. All this other stuff that they have been built up to do now is just through societal pressure and, you know, to put on the air of legitimacy. But yeah, they're just capital thugs. That's it.
Yeah. Their stupid outfits. Their stupid utility belts full of crap.
Yeah, which I can't even remember what is on it and which order it is.
Which one is the gun? Which one's the taser? I don't know. Pull them both.
You know, right now I honestly have way more respect for like the British Guard or something, where they have to stand there all day and they actually are guarding the palace and stuff, and then people come around and start fucking with them and touching their hat and shit. He'd be like, "Make way for the guard," and they're like, "Ha ha ha, British people, ha ha ha," and then they fuck around and find out real quick. You know, when he billy club your ass.
Right.
Make way for the guard. I told your ass make way for the guard. Now that's way different from, you know, something else. This fake policing.
Like, that's just it. It's all just fucking cheap ass posturing for wealthy people.
Yeah.
It's public funded 1% protection.
Yep.
I should figure out how much I pay to those bubbles. I'm like, I'm gonna take the police money that I'm supposed to pay y'all on my taxes,
40%
and I'm gonna give it to the social workers. What?
Yeah.
In Uvalde, 40% of the county's budget goes to the police.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's how
No.
they got their fancy body armor they didn't
He's
use.
right.
The fake. That's gross. Go
Yeah.
take it. You gotta hurry and get back here. That's
Yep.
disgusting. That's. God, this is the problem with our fucking society. We can spend that money on better things. People can have health insurance. People could get medical things taken care of. People could have places to live and food to eat. And no, we gotta protect that top tier bullshit. They already protect themselves. Remember Psycho Susie and Dinglefuck, who were standing outside their house because black people were in the neighborhood?
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I love you know your names for people. Yes. What did you say? Deputy dumbass? No,
Yeah.
stuff.
No, actually, I learned from my
Amanda
mother.
goes in.
Well, because it's bad. It's bad and it's trashy, and I don't care who knows it. If they want to come for me, fine. I've had enough cops be it. Oh my God, can I tell you guys about how often I see the police? I've been out of a job for over a month now, which sucks, right? But it's brought in a new awareness to my neighborhood. And I see cops every fucking day. Every damn day, whether they were summoned or not. And they're like walking around my parking lot, looking at the vehicles and like, get out. No one called you.
Right.
What?
When I do
Well,
call
plus
you,
they
it
checking
takes you
people's
40
cars
minutes.
for it.
Right. Oh, because somebody had a flat tire in the parking lot. Are you going to come fix it, asshole? I bet you're not, so get out.
Right. They always
Okay.
about why they're not allowed to help if you're on the side of the road with a fucking flat tire. So what the fuck do they give a shit about a flat tire in a parking lot for?
Right.
I call bullshit.
Wait, can I just make sure I heard you correctly? Because my mind may have glitched out for a second. Are you telling me that cops are coming to private property to help people who don't need help? Is that what happened?
No, they're just like coming by. Like we had an undercover cop lady, and she was like hands on her hips walking around our neighbor's car who just had a flat tire. I mean, the car's been parked there forever. Quite honestly, I don't give a fuck. Unless he wants help to fix it, then of course we can help him. But she's like looking around, like trying to look for something to write up, and it's like, go home. No one wants you.
Oh my
SA's probably
God.
got stale donuts. Go buy one.
Okay, so I'm gonna get accused of being a know-it-all or think she know-it-all, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe that there's some sort of I don't know if it's a law on the books or if there's a requirement in like apartment complexes or private parking lots, but when a car has been disabled and visibly disabled over a period of time, then it's really possible for you to get some sort of like extra tickets on top of that. It's almost like for
Okay.
example, if a car has a flat tire, or let's say it's in like it's like jacked up, with the
Sure.
jack, or
Yep.
or the hood is open or something like that. It's not bothering anybody. It's not like it's having like some sort of like
Smell or it's
fumes,
on
exactly. Or if it looks like it's being used as a living space, then the car will be considered as abandoned, and it's no longer a vehicle, although it is still a vehicle and obviously disabled for whatever time. It is now called you owe storage fee. Amanda's face. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I promise you. The only reason why I remember that.
I believe you. I'm just
The only reason why I
shit they
remember that
come up
because I've
with.
had to deal with that where I was told something like that because of my vehicle being like that, and somebody else went through the same thing. I've seen that happen a bunch. I'm sorry, I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No. Please. If anything, you've enlightened me while Officer Barbie was going through our parking lot. Like, wait. I must went down there and be like, bitch, can I help you? Can I help
I'm
you?
too damn high, Officer Barbie. I'm listening.
What do you need? Because it doesn't look like you're doing anything here except for escalating a situation that was nothing into something.
That's the
You
thing.
bored? You want me
It's
to do
a-
something illegal?
It's a tort. It's a tort. It's another one of those shitty as for all the accent and the hollering and the cussing and the laughing I do, I don't love law, but I like remembering this shit for some reason because I want to not get fucked over because of it. Obviously, I need to know rights. I need to know the law. But it's a tort. Basically, there are tons of little, if I remember correct, tort of these kind of like shitty little what's the word I'm looking for? Hold on, where is Zach? He's supposed to be reading my mind. Hold on, what's the word?
He's getting his glasses.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just playing. I'm playing. But you know what I mean? Like not qualification. If you can see me rubbing my forehead as if it's gonna help.
It's like petty bullshit.
Technicality.
Yeah.
Technicality.
Oh yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Like I think about this stuff. Okay.
Yes.
And every time you see Officer Barbie or Deputy Dinglefuck, they're always standing like this, right? hands on the hips, looking around like,
Yeah.
what's going on here?
I love
Okay.
that deputy bingle fuck.
It burns my ass, you guys. I worked in special ed for 5 years, and I'm continuing to work in special ed, and I go through something called CPI, which is Crisis Prevention Intervention Training, right?
Yeah.
It's about being visually aware of what's going on around you, making
Time out.
mindful-
Special ed for what age group? Like, I'm adults or children, or both.
I'm children.
Yeah.
Well, I have been children up until recently, but I'm actually switching to adults in the fall, and I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I love it. Especially autism, that's my jam because that's how my brain works. I'm like, I like a set schedule. I like to do the same thing every time, and we don't fucking deviate unless it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. It's hard. But CPI, I do this crisis prevention training every year, right? And it's about being mindful of your body language, being aware of your surroundings, and then learning how to do holds if necessary. And one of the big things they say is don't fucking stand there with your hands on your hips or your arms crossed or your legs crossed or anything like that because it is aggressive.
Yeah.
It's an aggressive body stance, and it puts people immediately on the defensive.
Of course.
Whether they would needed to be on the defensive or not.
Yes.
So I've become like hyper attuned to my body language, and if I'm like crossing my arms, I'll be like, oh, I'm really cold right now.
Yeah.
And like making a point to say that, like, I'm cold, and they're like, oh, well, do you have a sweater, right?
Yeah.
So like putting that out there for them so that they understand that I'm not like
being like
aloof. Yeah. Right. Like, hey, Debbie, you dumbass, and I'm here to beat you up and smack your mouth because you looked at me funny.
Yeah.
And I deserve respect and authority.
Oh my gosh.
And I deserve a raise.
That is
And I
so
deserve
awful.
donuts. But mostly I need your respect. If you just quit breaking the law, I wouldn't have to fucking do this.
Oh my gosh.
Like
that. I'm like, it's like,
it was very
it's so accurate. It's almost like, I mean, that's exactly what they are feeling at that time. And it's like, let me just say that professionals, one of the first thing about being a professional anything or whatever job you're doing is, I honestly think that hiding your own emotions at that moment is part of the job. Like, aren't you supposed to be focusing on others, or aren't you supposed to be focusing on a duty and serving the law? And so, like, I'm just taking a pause for the cause of saying that you pointing out the body language of a so-called of an authority turns, it basically is a math problem of what you call her, Detective Barbie being,
Officer Barbie,
Officer Barbie,
dumbass.
Officer Barbie dumbass the third having a fucking badge plus a gun is one thing, but sitting up there putting their hands on their hips and swinging their ass around with extra authority is another level of, it goes from assertiveness and aggression to now we've crossed the line to, I don't want to call it violence, but there's another level of.
But you're inviting it. You're escalating the situation.
It is.
With CPI, it's like you don't cross any of your appendages, or if you do, you explain why, and you always have your hands where the other person can see them.
Yes.
Always.
Because those things mean something differently to different cultures. Like if you were teaching adult ESL, those things I can also like listen to what you're saying and empathize and just feel you, because those mean something different to autistic people. Those mean something different to people who are, I don't want to say sensitive, but receptive on levels that a lot of people may or may not be. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like your whole body, all five of your senses are being attacked all the time on some level. I'm not trying to assume I know all about autism, but I'm trying to be empathetic to the situation. Like, hey, what if that person, their brain is like stemming? Like I did enough understanding research and trying to understand things and talk with people, the stemming and the different sort of comfort level things. Like I can just only imagine that person, the autistic person, is just feeling it. Like, why the hell is this teacher angry at me? Well, I'm not angry. I'm just having my hands on my hips because it's comfortable for me. Well, why are you angry? I can feel it. Like, I hear you, like, ooh,
Yeah.
and why would anybody escalate with aggression toward another thing I'm done hearing about is everybody's damn intentions. One of the things everybody kept like wasting my time and energy explaining me their intentions 18 more times. I'm like, okay, can we get beyond the part where you explained to me what it is that you were trying to do as if I didn't know before you told me? And can we jump forward to the way that it made me feel? And that's how I feel about, like, if it was an autistic person that was going through that with those people at your job or whatever, like putting their hands on their hips like that. I see that whole situation the way you said. I'm like, oh my God, that's just so, it just makes my skin crawl because it makes me angry that you, at the very least, because you know how I feel about mental health and everything. And I'm not trying to say autism is a quote mental illness. I'm talking about anything that's neurodivergent, anything where we got to be detailed about what this person's experience is, on the brain level, brain, mind, nervous system. If it's something beyond what we can see, let's take a moment to be sensitive and empathetic. But so yeah, like all that stuff, you could be like the best occupational therapist in the world, Amanda. For real, for real. You can even give classes online where you teach or are there for or something. Cause it's like, I don't know, why I'm still just yak yak yak. I think you just hit you not hit a nerve, but you hit a spot that is really just, I could cry right now because it really is just that simple. How are you approaching this person who's the client
But
in a
like,
way that you should already know better?
right. But that's why I like come in at this, like at the police, right? Like
Okay.
the system that I am taught makes me wonder, how come the police aren't taught this? And maybe they are, and I've never witnessed an actual police officer use it the way
Yeah.
that I use it. I mean, it's like there are so many tells too. Like I get this like laundry list and I have to pull it up because it's like, if somebody's having anxiety, like it shows in a lot of different ways. Like they start yelling and shouting, like they're anxious. So then you just
Yeah.
like, again, put your hands where they can see them. Hey, are you feeling anxious right now?
Yeah.
It looks like you might be upset.
Mhm.
Can I just have you sit down next to me for a minute?
Mhm.
And just like giving that single direction, one direction at a time,
Mhm.
helps them reset. And then like the only time that you ever intervene in this CPI model is like if risk behavior is
Mhm.
showing, like they're gonna jump off a building.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like, come on, people. Sorry, it makes me really frustrated knowing that I have these skills and I haven't shot anybody. So
No,
like, I don't know why other people can't.
that's the thing. It's like, it's really, when you say about the shooting people, yeah, it's so unfair because somewhere in there you're putting forth the effort. Like, whether it's learning about other people, understanding, being compassionate, growing, whatever, you're putting forth the effort. We're all putting forth the effort here, all of us, and some of our friends are in different, in different ways, and that makes all the difference. It's like, it's about good faith, in my opinion. If you really want to boil it down, a lot of stuff is just really about, am I interacting with somebody that sees me as a person worthy of the bare minimum humanity or not?
Mm-hmm.
And if the bare minimum humanity for an autistic person is to understand where they're coming from, I think that's fair. Now, if I don't know that you're autistic and you're interacting with me and then you spring it on me like somewhere after I've said or done the wrong thing to you, then that's a little unfair. If you got HIV and when we're about to have sex, I think you should tell me. If you got something that's going, you really get twisted, or you should be drinking and you're not drinking enough, and then now I'm in the middle of a brawl with you because you chose not to drink, or you like stuff where you coming out of a bag on people and I had no idea. I go through that a lot, and that's another thing that makes me really sad about some of the interactions that I've gone through, is that people walk away from me thinking that I hate them or I hate their group, and I'm like, you fuck face, no, you engaged in bad faith. You were so busy hiding who you are or hiding something from me because you feel within yourself, blah, 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 insert subjective bullshit, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck what's wrong with you. If you don't interact with other people and at least let them know what your struggles are in the moment, and there's like a fucking 50-50 chance that you're just gonna like traumatize them with the projection slash hiding your illness slash trauma slash outburst bullshit. I done got text walled by autistic people who were mad at me because they were trying to be there for me, and all I said was I can't follow the situation. And that magically turned into I'm a hateful bitch. That's the shit that I'm not down with. And you know, I'm not saying that everybody has to divulge all their secrets, and you know, I need to run a credit check and a background check and see your social security number, no shit like that. But god damn it. Now that one right there, you know, I'm gonna get a lot of people either blocking or being mad at me off of that one, but fuck it. Because if I got to walk into the room and tell somebody 1,700 fucking times that I got a brain damage problem that I can't control, and then you put me to the test like Moses, bitch, you can take some responsibility for your shit too. And that's what I be talking about. Like with y'all are making the steps to do whatever you need to do. A lot of the people that I've talked to within the last 72 hours, like I keep saying, there are some that aren't making any effort, and there are some that are making some effort, and I acknowledge it, but maybe we still got to work through, you know, the confusion of our friendship, but we're still cool. Those are two different things, because a lot of times people are triggered that because the person that trigger blocked me was autistic. I'd love to know why. I remember there was one guy, he said he was autistic, but he needed me to help him with like math. And I was asking him something about like his math teacher or whatever. And I just went off on a tangent. I was like, you know, I cannot believe, and I kind of talked for a little while. Do you know he blocked me and then changed his profile picture to a video of somebody eating cat poop out of a fucking yeah. These are the things that happen to me. These are the things that people are very comfortable doing that they may or may not get around to doing to some other people. Yeah. Oh, it gets ugly. That's the reason why my profile picture is a dead motherfucking cockroach. Who's going to step on me today? It sounds however it sounds, but it is what it is. People get fucking twisted and nasty with me. They get twisted and fucking nasty with me because remember, I'm the person who doesn't even count. My whole entire purpose in the world is just to please everybody and just summon the I'm supposed to come in and cook and clean, serve you a plate, entertain you, make you feel better about yourself, let you step on me, lift you up, mammy. That's how people try to play me. Fuck you. You know, I'm not, but at the same time, you know what's crazy? The people who do treat me good, I will fucking bend over backwards to want to make y'all laugh or something, or be a good friend or collaborate with stuff. I promise you, I just really felt so bad the times when y'all was like, hey, you know, could you come and you want to be a part of the podcast? I really wanted to so bad. So bad. The mental illness. It's just too much. But I will move heaven and earth for my friends. I really would, and it wouldn't even hurt. It wouldn't even be sweat off my brow to do whatever it is that somebody felt like they needed from me because they're my friend, or because I just felt like it was a lot of people that was going berserk when George Floyd died. Do you know how many white dudes I sat and talked to on the phone, or would talk to on Messenger, or would text back and forth because they was about to kill themselves? Ask my boyfriend. Yeah. I love, no matter where I go, I get wow emojis. I wish I had a little gif of your head darting forward like that, Amanda. Like, well, what?
I don't.
Yeah. Ask my boyfriend. Ask Robert. He'll tell you.
Uh,
He'd
I
come over from work, and I'd be sitting in the. I get in my office room. I got a closet that's really thin. You could just only hang like maybe 5 shirts in there, but it's enough for me to sit in there. I was sing. It's good for the acoustics. But I would just be sitting there talking because it's the most private place in my apartment where nobody can really hear me talking, and like through the thin walls of like my neighbor or anything like that. And Robert would come back from work. I'd let him in. I'm like, hey, sweetie, I got somebody on the phone. You already know. Anything happened in the news? Somebody they flipped the coffee table on their racist uncle because they've been itching to do it. God damn it! And they wanted to tell me about it. You think I'm not gonna sit there and give somebody 30 minutes to 2 hours to 3 hours to 4 hours because they want to tell me about that shit? Because they're looking at me as a black woman, like, okay, I'm just feeling this in my way. Am I patting somebody on the head and giving them you need to stop patting white people on the head and giving them a cookie if they do the right thing. Fuck you. This person thought enough of me as a human being to talk with me about that. Right or wrong, I don't give a fuck. What am I gonna do? Maybe he's off into a better start as anti-racism. That's my praxis. Okay.
mhm.
Somebody talking about, so I'm scrolling, chilling out on Facebook, just chilling. Somebody sit up there, emotionally whooping on a trans person. Like, what? It's not what I'm doing. Hello, what's going on here? Not the fake ass shit where somebody did it to me because I used the word uterus and I must be a transphobe, bitch. I'm talking about sitting there scrolling and you just casually on Facebook, and a person that I usually interact with, basic stuff, hit the heart react, and the post was something like, I don't remember exactly what it was. Like a post was something, and then the reactions were like, they were like, from angry to sad to whatever, and then the comments were like, you piece of shit, or what. Like they were between telling the trans person that they had a mental illness, God hates them, all this type of shit. I was like, wow. I was in the comments, I was looking at there, I was like, wait, I'm going to this one. I'm like, wait a minute, blah, 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 because, so-and-so friend, tag, blah, 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 is a person and they can do what they want. And then going down the list, saying because I said so, because I felt like saying something. So all of the anti-racist white people who take the time out to do some anti-racist shit against a Nazi or against whoever is trying to hate on me or exterminate me, I feel the same way towards like trying to help the next person with whatever. It is a group effort.
Right.
It's a group effort. All hands on deck. It ain't all just white people having to do it all. It ain't all just black people having to do it all. Zen, you mentioned that earlier. You was 100% right. I'm feeling you on that. We was talking about that. You said that shit.
Right.
My little corner of the earth is just maybe a little bit of mental health, maybe a little bit of this, whatever I got to contribute. We're gonna have a nice little dinner. Somebody gonna bring the bread, Amanda. And somebody gonna bring the meat, somebody gonna bring the this and the refreshments and the dessert and every other thing. That's how you eat a meal. That's how you share in the bounty of the whatever you doing if you grouping together and stuff. That's how a family works. Somebody does this part, somebody that does that part. Oh, who's gonna cook the spaghetti, girl? I love, Aunt Felicia. She got the best spaghetti. Let her do it. You know what I'm saying? I just, I'm good with the idea that I love when y'all talking about you could be talking about the Panthers, but when you look, it's every race. Everybody's, somehow attached and and that's what's exciting to me. Because remember, I've been on my own by myself, just saying like, okay, well, I don't know what to do except for be cool, be good with people, and try to be good faith. That's because that bad faith thing, what my family did to me, what my parents did, what a lot of people have done to me from the black community, it's just a bad faith kind of, well, I'm just going to stay in touch with you long enough to get something out of you. And then when I'm done with you, I'm just going to stop fucking with you. What's the difference between that and what happened yesterday? Oh, I'm gonna keep talking to you until because I feel good about using your image as a black woman to make me feel better because I'm just virtue signaling here online. But the second that you point out the fact that you're a real person, I'm gonna shit on you, trigger block you, and then go contact another person and talk shit about you. Bad faith. So
Well, and like, really, we all have so much work to do. It never stops, right? People change. People get new understandings. People evolve. Sometimes for the or sometimes for the worse. But it's like an ongoing situation. I mean,
yeah.
it's a drop in the bucket. But like, so the school I used to work at, we were doing all this equity work, right? And one of the equity things that we were supposed to be talking about was like microaggressions, specifically with like names and stuff. And the people in the group I was working with were talking about, oh, it's really hard to remember people's names, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, well, if you care enough, you would ask how to pronounce someone's name.
Right.
I used to keep sticky notes next to names that I had a hard time with, and like write my own stupid like Amanda
Phonetics.
E's. Right, my own phonetics, so I would remember how to say it correctly.
Yes. Well, it's called effort.
Right.
You put forth effort to bridge the gap between what you can and cannot do. Yes, a sticky note. Absolutely, I'm listening.
Yeah,
I love it.
And like, they were like, oh, well, there comes a point in the year where, and I was like, no, it's worth it every damn time because it's a respect issue. And they were talking about how some of the students, like, after a while, just would quit trying to correct them. And I'm like, they gave up on you.
I volunteered to bitch slap your whole entire coworkers. One Socratic question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying that college graduates and probably people at the master's or doctorate level are complaining about the ability to learn?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I just want to clarify that this is another episode of fucking The Twilight Zone. That's all I wanted to know. That's all I wanted to know.
Oh, yeah. And it was just like, they were talking about it, and they were like, well, there just comes a point where you don't really interact with that person that much, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I just sat there, and I was like, finally I was like, slammed my fists on the table, and I'm like, it doesn't matter! Make a sticky note! Make an effort, because they will remember that you tried.
Well,
Right.
You came up with some sort of mnemonic or something. You made an effort. You're trying.
I mean,
You're
one of the basics of being a teacher is it's not about respecting the students like kissing their ass, but if you're a teacher of any kind, you at least need to gain trust or put trust in like a nice mixture between trust and authority. Like you already have the authority based on the fact that you're sitting there and they're sitting there, right? But
it goes so much deeper than that.
Right. Like so you're asking human beings to open their minds and allow you to pour something into their heads. Like the least you can do is do them the courtesy of respecting them as human beings, and humans have names that you have to pronounce. Like that's like it's almost as stupid as you got so are there like 3 or 4 syllable words that they generally fuck up because they're too lazy to learn those? Schadenfreude versus Schadenfreude, like language. The point I'm making is that language is worth the effort of pronouncing things properly, of spelling things properly. Handwriting is worth legibility. Like just you see what I'm saying? Like the essence of like actual reality requires bare minimal shit. Right. So when you call on a student and you mispronounce their name and they don't respond. Is this now a behavioral issue that you have to write them up and give
Right.
them attention? Like, this is where we go with this. This is
It
the next following logical friggin' you know again,
mhm.
tort law, or if it, or whatever it's called. I want to say tort law, but I might be wrong. There's probably some word that I'm saying wrong, but
We
there's
can
a
call it
kind of
that.
just that qualified, what do you call, technicality bullshit that I'm just that's probably my favorite, besides contractual law. That's probably my favorite, topic, is to sort of break down the logic of the argument in that way. Because, like, the way that you said it, like, you were like, it's not that hard. You're absolutely right. Like, it's just like they're making the excuse that the thing that's difficult for them is respecting the students.
Mhm.
And another thing too is that if you already have the that's another thing. I did post on my page something about, like, stigma. So if the student already has the stigma of, and this could be any student that has the stigma, even if all the stigma is that they feel uncomfortable being in a learning position. I mean, that for a lot of people who just love to learn, that may not be an issue, but sometimes people just feel vulnerable just being a student. There's just they could have gone through something where having authority, somebody having authority over them, is traumatic. Like, you just don't
Right.
know how much power you have as a person standing in front of everybody, telling them this is this and that is that. Like, you can't take that for granted. You have to be very careful. With a lot of power becomes responsibility. And, it's just, I'm sorry. I just,
No,
some of the
no,
things you
no.
say,
You're
you're so
right,
spot
though.
on, it just sort of like, it gives me chills, and I'm just sort of like twitching thinking about how true it is. It's like, oh my God. Like, it's
Like,
just cool.
I mean, it starts there, though, right? I mean, everybody does it. Everybody goes there. And the fact that, like, a teacher would get so bent out of shape, like, because they had, like, a Kashira, a Khadijah, and I can't remember the third student's name, and it was another K,
Kanisha,
3 syllable thing.
Kanisha.
Maybe. I don't want to say for sure. But,
Yeah.
like, that was what they were getting bent out of shape. Was like, oh, there's all these K names. It's like, write it
Wow.
down. You will associate again. Oh, like, Kashira really loves the color purple. Or this student is really into this thing.
Right.
It's just all making all these small connections, and I'm telling you from personal experience, the teachers that make the effort to stand at the classroom door and say hello to every student as they come
Yes. I
in,
love that.
saying their name, has
Yes.
so much more respect and so much
Yes.
more classroom control than that teacher that cannot fucking be bothered.
The most important word in the language that you speak, and is your name. The most important word you'll ever hear is your own name. And having it mispronounced, it's almost as if that person is telling you that they refuse to see you or acknowledge your presence or acknowledge your humanity. Because the here's the thing. Do I name my box fan? Is there, well, you do have a name for your yeast, but your
Yeah, my
yeast is
sourdough
growing.
starter.
Your sourdough starter. Your sourdough starter, what you say, Lurch?
Yeah, that's
Lurch gets
Lurch.
a name, huh?
Yeah,
Lurch
it's
is alive.
Lurch.
Lurch gets a name because he is a person. He's growing. He smells funny. He has a lot of characteristics that, a lot of women would love that in a man. But I digress. But seriously, you name things because they're important. Every
Right.
People don't have a name for each pair of pants that they have, but you do have a name for your lucky hat. You do have a name for your favorite stuffed animal. And I'm
Or
even
your
talking about,
car.
hey, she even gets a gender. So anything that you feel is special and important gets a name. So if a human being can't even register, that's part of the reason why I click off so hard on a lot of things, because some of the stuff that's happening to me is that, damn, you're just going to take my humanity away just like that. Wow. Okay. Thank you. Glad to know. And people don't realize that they're doing that, but the expectation that they're having of me is to repeatedly understand, why they're a stupid idiot but they can't understand that blah 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 going on with me. And the reason why I keep harping on this name thing is like I also was I'm very bad at names. And I remember there was a woman in where I lived at. I would tell people I'm very bad at names, and like with Zach, how many times did I ask Zach his name? And for real, and I'm not doing it because now in that case it's sort of like, okay, well, why am I not putting forth the effort to learn Zach's name? It's not that I'm not putting forth the effort. In this case, I actually have a mental illness, and a big part of it is memory. But what happened is, isn't it interesting how I all of a sudden said his name correctly and I wasn't reading it off the screen? Why? Because it took me 1, 2, 3, 4, could have been 5, could have been 6 times interacting with him before I got it. And then I might forget it again. But y'all already know that I have a mental illness, and I'm already telling you, like, hey, I got a huge memory problem.
Right.
But if you graduated from college and now your job is to teach people who also probably have, in addition to memory problems, whatever other cognitive, skill issues, and your excuse is that you can't remember, you don't deserve to be a teacher. If you don't have the basic cognitive skills or efforts, and this is the thing too, it's like this is why I'm disabled. Not because I choose not to work, but because there's a lot of stuff that I would fuck up and get fired really way. Like one I'm supposed to like, okay, I need to bounce between the healing of constantly being triggered and traumatized by my environment and jump into a job where I'm going to also fuck up. And if I ever got the job, I don't even know how I would possibly show up to a job interview. Like I remember while I was in the shelter, I actually showed up to a job interview, was well dressed and everything. And when I was confronted with I thought I could work. When I was confronted with what the responsibilities were, it was like a reality check to me because preparing for the job interview was already like so stressful. I spent like 3 hours a day at Harold Washington Library, like 3 days or something, like preparing or taking the time. And it wasn't even just because, trust me, if it was just because I was in a shelter, that would have been a reason for me to like my living situation. That wasn't the thing, because I could always come back to the library. But I have the energy and the mental acuity for self-care. And the reason why I'm telling you all this is because I'm trying to sort of like point to the idea that as a client or as the students, there's a lot of stuff that they cannot do. So the person in the room who's not really able, or that is to say disabled, or that is to say differently abled, or that is to say neurodivergent, okay, and this is with me not knowing enough about autism to really be able to have a complete thought about it, but just trying to be fair and have good faith toward trying to give an understanding what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling. And yeah, that person should be able to look at the teacher as an abled person. And part of the ability is, even if the autistic person isn't registering on the level that I'm saying it right now, they're still registering the place probably as unsafe on some level. They're registering the unsafe feeling of having the teacher cross their arms. Teacher, why are you mad at me? They might be thinking that. Teacher, why don't you care about me? Quote, enough to remember
to learn my name.
Yeah.
And that, to me, it's just like when we were talking about that as the collective, and they were saying, oh, well, it's not really a microaggression. And I'm like, yes, it is.
It's absolutely a microaggression.
Like, it
It's
absolutely
exactly it.
is. And they're like, well, that makes me uncomfortable. Like, good, it should make you uncomfortable.
Oh
Knock
my
it
God.
off.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. Hold on. So the teacher microaggressed the student, was told that they were microaggressing, and then felt microaggressed against.
Yeah.
Shoot me now. Just end it all. Oh my God.
I know.
These people are stupid.
Well, and like, we were talking about it more in depth, and I'm like, everybody does it. I'm like, I've fucking done it. I do it all the time, and I ask people where they're from because I think that's an okay question for me to ask because I am overly friendly, and I assume everybody else wants to be friends too, and that's not true.
Yeah.
But I don't build that rapport first always, or don't think to do it, and it's not always a welcome question. That is
But
a
you're
microaggression.
self-aware enough to self-correct.
Yeah, but I still fuck up.
No, no, no. I know you still fuck up, but I don't know why I keep. I think one of the things, like if you say you still fuck up, or people say they're not perfect or whatever, I always feel, and maybe I'm projecting right now, but I always feel compelled to remind you that it it doesn't matter as much that you still make the mistake as it matters that you're so friggin' self-aware and you try. Like, even if, and one of the, and I think I learned this, honestly, I learned this teaching ESL. Like, because as a teacher or as anybody who is, let's say, you're interacting with people on a basis of like, you want to be friends, but teachers are naturally like curious, who want to like learn things themselves, and they
Mhm.
love knowledge, they love learning. So when you're that type of person, even if you're not a teacher, but if you're just like somebody who likes to learn, or you're, or whatever,
Mhm.
like that whole area of things, or you're creative, like that type of thing, and you're excited and bubbly about meeting people, like the energy of, and the I keep coming back to good faith. People know people know when you mean them well or not. So
Mhm.
it's not as much, in my opinion, and maybe I'm speaking a little bit too much for other people, but I'll tell you one thing. If, oh shit, what happened was
Uh-oh.
in. Is she coming back? Oh
I hope
no.
so.
I hope
The
so.
heat
Yeah.
down there hurt. Because remember when it first started, she was really in
That's
and
right.
out.
Yeah, it kept okay, okay. I'm gonna finish my thought only so that I don't forget it. I'm not trying to just go on
Yeah.
without it like that, but I just want to say real quick, people appreciate effort,
Mhm.
and people can see you if you have good intentions or not, or if you, not just good intentions, but a good heart towards them, or even the intention to try to learn what the right intention is. I mean,
Mhm.
that goes a long way. But if people, the other part of it is, oh, here she go. Okay.
Wait, is she the banana bread? She's not the banana bread. She's not showing up.
She said press toggle switch to add her back, but yeah.
Where? Hold on a sec. I'm gonna grab Zach. I'm pretty sure he just like bolted on us.
Okay.
I'm gonna kick his butt.
All right, I'm gonna sit here and host the show by myself. I'll probably play some music. Good afternoon, Bread Theory. You're sitting with your host, Shanika from Chicago. I am too silly. I'm silly for myself. Hold on. I really enjoy podcasts. Do, 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 do. I'm gonna try to play some music just because. Wait, hold on. Oh, here's a good one. Here we go. I wonder if it's audible from where y'all are at. Oops. I'm sorry. I just read. I'm sorry about that. Were you able to hear it?
No, I just got back.
I
Zach,
just,
I need your help. He ain't
you're
listening to
gonna
me.
have to. Oh my god, that was so stupid. I'm sorry. I'm
She's
sorry.
in the backstage. How do I find the backstage? Zach,
I'm too
please
silly.
help.
Please call back the second that y'all leave me alone with the podcast.
I know I'm gonna break the whole thing.
What are you
I'm
doing?
so
I need help.
Okay. With what?
I'm so.
She's
Wait, James.
stuck in the
James
back.
says, "Play more Queen." No, James, I'm sorry.
Oh, she played something. We gotta cut it out. And also, where's backstage so I can let her in?
Dude,
Wait,
she's
okay,
not
I'll
there.
sing. Can I sing, Queen?
She's up there.
Can I sing them
Can she
instead
sing,
of
Queen?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
can I
that's his
sing them
music.
Can you
instead
please
of
sit
playing
here and
them?
step in
Oh
for?
my
I need to
God.
go to the bathroom, please. Sorry.
Hold on, I'm just curious. Hold on, let me read the chat.
Sorry, stomach
Okay,
upset.
can I sing them instead? I can't even sing them.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I understand. Okay,
Jeez.
I'm sorry, James.
Ow, ow, ow.
Okay, one last question. Can I hum?
You might have to-
La 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 la. Boom, ba-da-dum, boom. La 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 la. Boom, ba-da-dum, boom. Is that kind? Okay. I'm just James, baby. Thank you. I love the fact that you were like, tell her to sing it. I feel like, but you do know that I do love learning about legal stuff, so this is an education for me. I was playing it, and Zia was like, "No, stop, Zach, y'all left me alone, and I burnt the house down. I'm so sorry, mommy and daddy." Oh shit. Okay. Thank you, James, for wanting me to sing. Oh my god, I needed that. Right. I mean, okay, so that will probably be another good topic that I have to go off on real quick. The fact that the copyright thing, I get using people's songs or whatever for profit,
Yeah, no,
but
it's
like,
ridiculous.
yeah. Okay, I got an idea. I write songs. I don't write anymore, or I can't, but I freestyle something, or I freestyle music, or I freestyle words, or make up a little song out of nowhere. Like, that's what, if I can't sing somebody else's song, I'll sing my own song. So, but I gotta make something that's like hearable and interesting enough that people will like it and be okay with the fact that it's not Queen. I love Queen. Like,
Oh yeah, I do too.
I would always sing that, like, when I was having a moment where, like, especially that's my song for like mental health stuff. Like, when I'm having a moment with a friend, but then we break through, and it goes off in my head. Dun, 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 la, 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 you know what I mean? I just go off and sing the song to the friend, and then we can have our little cry moment and stuff. Like, that's why I played that. That's what it is to me. You know, I love Queen.
Yeah, pretty great.
Thank you, James. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep myself alive. What is it? Somebody trying to unalive me? What is it? Something I need to know, James? I'm being silly. I love y'all. Y'all good people. For real, for real.
Thanks.
I love y'all. Y'all are good people. I know you're trying to end the podcast. It's like 3 hours in. All of my conversations on the phone are like 6 hours long. So, oh, keep yourself alive is a Queen song.
I
Gotcha.
am so sorry. Just let me talk.
Do you want to hear it too, or no?
Just let me talk. I'm sorry.
Oh, I see.
I
Okay.
ate kale today, and my body
Why don't you eat
is.
kale? You know your body don't like kale.
I know I don't like kale, but I've been trying to make better choices, and it turns out my body still doesn't like kale. And my stomach is rather upset, and I'm so sorry. But can we pick this up again next week?
Yay. Yes. Yes. And then I'll try to find a
what
kind
happened to
of
Trisha?
green to recommend to you.
She was, and then she wasn't, and then I came to let her back in, and she wasn't there.
Halfway in
That's
the
all.
evening.
My fault. I ran away to get you.
All right. So do you want me to end this for you, or are you coming back to
Yes.
end it, or
Can you
what?
please? I'm sorry. It's very
Okay.
tender.
Thank you all for
I'm
joining us
sorry. I will
tonight.
never be kid again.
I do appreciate
And remember, don't
I
leave
appreciate
shit
you all.
alone
I
on the
love you
internet.
all. Stay safe.
it.
Stay calmy. See you later. Oh, is that an appropriate word for you?
No. Okay, I'm sorry. Good night,
Alright.
yours.
Thanks for being on, Shanika. Thanks for
You
being
rock.
on, Zen, Trisha. Thanks to all of you in the comments.
Yes.
Yes, night Trisha, night James.
Good night, everybody.